What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Plebcast. It's your favorite VTuber, Mouse David. And here
I
with me
still hate it
is.
though.
I still have a webcam, guys. Sorry. But alright, here with me is Slayer and TDS as per usual. And guess what? Plans is done. Okay. So we got that over with. But first, before that, we're gonna talk a bit about the meta report with Slayer. Alright, Slayer. Tell us about the meta that happened in play-ins, the things that we expected and the things that we didn't really expect come in. What do you think?
Okay, so let's start with the top lane. Very easy to go. Roll by roll. Top lane, I did expect a lot of like what they played. Like for example, like Jax, a
Mm-hmm.
bit of Camille, a bit
Mm-hmm.
of Fiora. Like we didn't see a Fiora. I don't think we saw a Fiora, right?
Yeah, we
I don't
saw
think.
there
We
was one,
we did. Chovy played
but
him mid, I think.
in mid. Yeah,
He
it
played
was
her mid.
once, but I think
Chovy,
actually no, I
it's
think
Cho-
Ale actually played one as well in one of the
maybe.
easy games. I think he played one in
Maybe,
one of these
maybe
games.
he did. But the general point is that top lane had the champions we expected them to.
Mm-hmm.
To be
Yep.
honest, like it was very cut and dry, very clear. Like what I'm surprised about is no Aatroxes because I feel like
I'm glad.
no no
I'm
because
glad there's no.
because to me at least I felt like he was one of those champions you could blind pick. Even though he has very bad matchups, you could safely say I'm going to blind pick and I'm going to leave him on an island.
I with Aatrox, I honestly expected him to be the new Renekton of this meta of this patch, where the players are just so accustomed to Aatrox that
Mm-hmm.
they would rather play that even if it's bad than play any actual champion. So I do agree. I'm surprised to see even seeing Renekton. It's much more surprising than not seeing Aatrox
Yes.
because I think that
Yes.
just pick Aatrox at that point. It's actually the same thing, but probably a little bit better. And
I mean, to be
what
honest,
Visitachi did with
yeah.
Renekton shouldn't be considered a good Renekton performance because first of all, I think it was against one. It was against Red, so I wouldn't take that much. I think it was even one against Infinity, so like that says a lot about who they actually beat with the Renekton. And with actual top laners, they can just punish him that much. Like I think he got punished by Morgan of all top laners, so it's not like it's a good pick
Mm.
overall.
I mean, to be fair to Morgan, he played well, but
He,
we get
yeah,
to
to
that in a
me,
sec.
I agree. I agree with that idea.
Yeah,
One
Let's
yeah.
get
thing.
later.
But my thing is with Renekton's much more easier to execute than Aatrox because with
Yeah,
Aatrox at least you have to land those bloody Qs.
Yeah, the Darken Blade gotta land those.
Oh, dude, that's hard. But yeah, for the most part, top lane went as kind of what we expected. Like
yeah, there wasn't
Camille's, and if
anything.
you pick the Camille, then you have the counter picks with Jackson stuff, and then we saw the Malphite from C9, and I expect
Mm.
Malphite and Wukong to be in the mix because you
Yeah.
get these champions like Jace, and all of a sudden Jace versus Wukong is like it's
It's
like
unplayable. As Jace, you don't
no
win that.
post level 6, yeah, Wukong just messes you up.
Yeah,
And then there's the Kennen and Jarvan. I mentioned this during that. Like Jarvan is actually really, really
Yeah.
like good into Kennen.
Mm.
So yeah, so
I
it's
like
like
Jarvan a lot.
Slayer, you're
yeah, my webcam's kind of messing up. I'll just restart that for a sec.
all right.
But yeah,
It's the
Asking me
ghosts.
to buy a new webcam. You need to get. Everyone like subscribe so that we can get sponsored and get Slayer new equipment because holy crap.
Sponsors means money. Money means new and better things for the podcast. So
Yeah, basically. All right. So drop a like, subscribe. Do all that stuff that all the YouTubers request you to do. Anyway, while Slayer's trying to get back into it, TDS, we talked about how Aatrox was supposed to be Renekton, but I thought kind of like
yeah,
Set was kind of drawing, make doing the same role. What do you think about that?
I think Zed is much better than both of them. So overall, I would have taken Zed over any of the
Yeah,
two
that's
every
why.
time of the day. What with Renekton and Aatrox, I was much more on the side that if you think Renekton is good because of comfort, I think that Aatrox is much better in that reward in that
Hmm.
regard anyway. So I was expecting to see Aatrox appear much more. Obviously, we didn't see that much, but overall, I'm glad at least that there was a lack of Renekton. Even in Korean and Chinese teams, there was no Renekton picks. and I think that's the most surprising part. Yes, although Bisichachi did it, but he reminded that he retired, I think, last year, so he's still getting accustomed back again to the pro meta and all,
Yeah.
on all those things.
Yeah.
So it wasn't surprising to a certain degree to me. But what surprised me really was Morgan and Ali don't not playing Renekton, and that's a staple pick of both Korea and China.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's no Renekton picks. First of all, for those teams, it's really nice, and that means that right now probably both Korea and China moved on from that pick, which means that we are not going to see teams getting baited by
Hmm.
Renekton, instead getting baited by something else, maybe. But at least it's a positive sign that they understand finally that it's not the best of situations to pick Renekton into.
I don't think
I'm.
Renekton's a good pick anymore.
We'll
It's
see. We'll
like
Yeah, I
see.
agree.
Yeah.
And
Uh.
the good thing is that now teams realize that as well. That's
Yeah.
that's a good part.
I
I
mean,
mean
to
the
be
nerf
fair.
was pretty bad, but yeah, I didn't expect Aatrox to not be picked at all. That was kind of confusing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe we'll see Aatrox in the group stages when more teams.
But we
I think
will see
it's more
more
than
of
likely.
Kennen. We'll see more of Kennen and Jace,
Yeah.
and then to answer to that, we'll see a lot of Wukong and Jarvan.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing is, in the group stage, there are going to be top laners that are more willing to play much more things. Like in this group stage, there was Ali, and Morgan doesn't play that much variety because he's really good in Aurelia, really good in
Yeah.
or so he's good in Aurelia, good in Camille, and then he's kind of a toss up on anything else. That's why we don't see that much variety coming from
Mm.
the top lane in How Alive. So and I cannot say much about playing sub lane pool because I feel like it's with the weakest top laners. I think the only difference is like you're saying Fudge and Evi that brought out the Urgot, but apart from that, not much
Yeah. We saw
can be said
Nar.
here.
We saw Nar again too. One of the also the safe quote unquote picks up there in the top lane,
Yeah,
which I don't know. Maybe
and
we'll
got
see a lot less of
punished.
her just because of how prevalent Aurelia is in the current meta at this point. 95% pick rate, ban rate across the board. This
She's
is
one of the
Yeah,
best
a
champions in
I
the
mean
game.
Aurelia's like that because of the fact that you can play our mid lane. It's
yeah.
Yeah,
like it's like you're actually balancing Aurelia between two lanes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean
So
that's fair, but I know we're just talking. The point is like that how prevalent this pick is in the meta, and so a lot of safe, quote unquote, safe champions in the top lane can get easily punished. I'd have
yes.
to say. All right, so that's
and even
top
in mid
lane.
lane.
All right, that's top
But
lane.
yeah,
That's top
let's go
lane.
jungle.
Yeah, let's go jungle
Okay.
now.
Jungle, the
Wait,
most
wait, wait.
surprising thing.
First
Go
thing I
on.
want to say, Slayer, is that we have basically a new jungle meta, which is very
Yes.
interesting for this worlds because it's now
Yes.
all
Particularly.
about kind of AD assassins, right? We did see a lot of Xin Shao still,
Supposed to be.
but it's supposed to be a lot of AD
Xinjiao
assassins. But like
was
at the next
surprising.
part of the play-ins, like at the first part we saw it. We saw the Talon, we saw the Kiana, we saw the Zed. We even saw it one game of Zed. But after that, we just started seeing Xin Shao all the time again. Why do you guys think
Yeah.
so?
So my surprising pick was not Jinzhao. I expected this. I
Yeah.
expected teams to revert to Jinzhao. My surprising pick was Lilia.
Oh yeah,
Be-
Lilia.
The Lilia
because
focus has been amazing.
because my thinking was, hey, you have Diana, then you have Echo, and then you have Nidalee, and then you have Talia, and then you have Lilia. And it's like they all went to Lilia. I'm like, wait, where did Echo go, guys? Where did
Yeah,
Diana go,
Echo.
guys?
I'm feeling
I'm
that the power from both Diana and Echo, for at least for pro players, it seems that they think the power is way later than that of Lilia. So they have been going much more for the Lilia since it can kind of impact earlier to a certain degree against most of these bruisers. But it's been surprising to say the least. I think that also the potential flexes that some teams have used with Olivia may impact this decision as well. Because we have seen, if I'm not wrong, was against C9
only one,
that they
only
used
one game,
Olivia top. It was one,
only
yeah.
one game.
But I feel like it's that is one of the reasons why Lydia has been much more prevalent. Obviously, it didn't happen later on, but I feel like that may be one of the reasons why Lydia appears more.
Do you think we'll see
I
Lilia
don't
more?
I don't think that is the case.
I think
I think it's more accustomed to comfort. I don't think
that may
this
be true as well.
I
Yeah.
I don't think these junglers have actually played much of any other AP mid laner, so they just decided, hey, Lilia's there, why
I'm
not let's pick
surprised
her.
with Echo though, because Echo was meta season 9, so I think most of these players should have had the Echo in their
I
pools.
actually think a lot of the people, especially, and we'll see this in the group stage, that people will pick up a lot of Lilia. We'll pick up a lot of Echo and Diana because
Mm.
these players have actually played this for a long
Yeah,
while.
So we might
Like
see
even
them
in the
in.
boot camp, they've played it for a while. But
yeah,
to switch to ADs, it's clear that Talon is in people's radar,
Mm-hmm.
and so is Kiana. But I
but
don't
said,
think we'll see Zed
Yeah, we
yeah,
probably won't.
because I think it became very apparent that Zed is too snowball heavy,
Mm.
and we could have junglers like Jinzhao or aggressive junglers who counter jungle just go in and just screw over Zed because
yeah,
Zed
and I
can't do
think
anything at that point.
yeah, and I think also that's one of the reasons why Shinjao is so prevalent. Not so only because of the set, but the fact that Shinjao can fight so early on
Mm.
without
Yeah,
any items means that he's one of the perfect
yeah,
answers for
yeah.
Kiana, for Talon, for Set perfectly
I
because
don't think
he doesn't
Talon.
need that much.
I don't think
I
Talon is because
think
I.
Talon just because I've seen that some take Flash instead of Ignite, and I think with Ignite you probably win that 1v1. But without Ignite, I think that now Shinjao has that pressure, so it's kind of a
Yeah.
situation like that for me at
The thing
least.
with Talon is once he gets to level 2 or level 3,
He's bleeding so.
you try to fight him, and he never fights you.
Yeah,
He just finds a wall and he jumps over. So
that's true.
Well, yeah, he has the best mobility.
That's true. That's
so
true.
so it's so Talon's never going to fight you. Talon's always going to run like go to some other lane or some other location just by jumping over
Fight
walls
someone
because he
else.
feels like it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
that is a
point
good
is,
way to
I
put it.
think Talon is very impervious to like the Zinzaos, the Lee Sins. One thing I'm surprised about, we didn't see many Lee Sins, but we're definitely going to see a lot of Lee Sins in groups because
Yeah, that's where
everyone
the
plays
actual
Lee Sin.
Yeah.
janglers are.
I think we started
Everyone
seeing.
plays Lee Sin.
I think we started seeing more Lee Sin on the latter part of the play-ins, where we got more priorities
Yeah.
from the other teams. But yeah, it's coming groups. It's definitely gonna see play. I mean, we have Clid, we have like, we have Canyon, we have all
Every
these
jungler
guys.
and their mother is a Lee Sin
Jungler
player.
plays
Yeah,
Lee Sin.
Tarzan. Yeah, it's just Lee Sin's gonna come back in definitely.
I
So
mean, to be honest, if you count every jungler from the top teams, you'll find many of the junglers' main best champion is their Lee Sin. So yeah.
Yep.
here, all right. Here's basically how we define what a good jungler is in this meta. Can this jungler build Gore Drinker? If yes, it's good.
Pretty much.
Gore Drinker is such a broken item still.
I swear,
It's
I've
Uh,
even thought
Listen,
that you can go
hey
for it
guys,
with Diana and you can probably win.
yeah,
That's
hey
how
guys,
broken I think it is.
remember during MSI and a bit after that when Stridebreaker was broken.
Yeah,
Hey
Good
guys,
old days.
Gore Drinker's the same.
yeah. Basically,
But
right now
I
at the
think Gold
start of
Drinker
the
got over buffed after they over nerfed Strikebreaker. So they just kind of compensated for that
yeah. Meanwhile,
stupidity.
Triforce. I mean, it's still niche. It's still being used by some
I
champions.
mean, Tribal. I think Triforce is
Ezreal,
still pretty
Ezreal
good.
loves it.
Yeah, yeah.
Ezreal
Ezreal's
loves it,
using
and
it a lot
Camille
more
as
now.
Oh,
well sometimes.
I think it's very good into Jack. I think it's very good for Jax as well in certain compositions.
Yeah, yeah, I agree too. So, all right, there's a jungler. Basically, build Gore Drinker guy. Solo Q-tip, build Gore Drinker. It's pretty good right now. Before Riot kneecaps the item, we'll see if they decide to do it.
Oh,
But that's
they
probably
already
not.
nerfed it. They already nerfed it.
Did they do
And
it in
they're
the
going
latest
to keep
patch?
on
Or,
nerfing
In
it.
the
Yeah.
latest
all right,
patch,
all
they
right,
nerfed it.
all right,
And
excellent.
it's so laughable.
All
It's
right.
not that bad, that good of a
All
nerf.
right, excellent. I
Yeah.
haven't read the latest patch notes yet. I will soon, but yeah. All right,
Yeah, it
next up.
doesn't matter for us. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a problem, right? We're like talking. We have to talk about
We're
worlds
in wars.
where
Yeah,
pros are just
solo queue is
on
another
this
thing.
specific patch. Although we kind of
Yeah.
do have to study up on it, TDS, since we are casting Runeterra Academy. So,
I know most of the things I need to know, and nothing was affected that much, so it's okay.
all right, yeah, no, nothing nothing too changing, right? At least until
Nah.
preseason, when, guys, we saw some new stuff in the preseason. Hint, hint.
Oh
But
god.
anyway, before we talk
Dude,
about that,
I do not like that.
let's go to
tempting
let's go to mid lane. Let's go to mid lane, guys. All right, is the meta still basically as we expected in mid? Because
No. No.
what do we
Mid
expect in
has
the
been
beginning?
No.
interesting.
Sir,
So
what did you expect? There we go. Let's start with that.
I expected it to be more roaming heavy, but it's not been roaming heavy. Like unless you get the champions like TF,
Mhm.
Zoe, Rise, you
Silas
don't
to a certain degree. Yeah.
Silas to a certain degree, LeBlanc to a certain degree. Unless you get those, you don't roam
Yeah, pretty
because
much.
Tryndamere. Because Tryndamere. Yeah.
The funniest
Guys,
thing is that
guys,
Tryndamere, even though it's
Trinamir's
strong, I haven't
busted.
seen that
Who
much.
knew? Who knew? Trinamir's busted.
Definitely
Who
not
knew?
Chovy. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I mean, I mean,
He
I
tried
mean,
so hard that
Listen, man,
game.
that
I'm
build
just
was
gonna
not
say.
trying, TDS. That build
to
was
be
not
honest, the
trying.
best
I
Tryndamere,
feel it wasn't that bad.
to be honest, the best Tryndamere I've seen so far has been from Tally, from Peace. I'm not
Yeah,
Okay.
kidding.
grip piece.
Because he actually looked good on that. Like it's like you pick out Tryndamere and you're like, what the hell? Like, what are you supposed to do? He hits a auto, all of a sudden he's resets? Dude,
Yeah,
you never
that's fair.
catch him.
It's super sad. It's
That's
super sad
fair.
that Tryndamere mid now has become the thing. I really don't like it because
I
it
mean,
just doesn't feel that
to be fair,
Eh,
that
there are some
yeah.
counters to it that we've seen, right? Icon did pull out the Gragas in order to counter it, and it was
I
pretty
think that's just an icon thing.
pretty. Yeah, I mean,
I
Icon's the
don't think
only
it's
one
that
who
good.
used it, to,
I don't
who
think
pulled
it's
it
that
out.
good. I think it just worked because of other factors, much more
Yeah.
so than the Gragas being good.
I mean, we'll see. Group
I
stage is
actually,
more
I
people
actually think
experiment.
I actually think some other melee mid laners like Irelia or Yone
Mm-hmm.
or even Yasuo could be good into Tryndamere.
I
Because
like the Fiora pick, honestly. I like the Fiora pick
no, no,
idea here.
The Fiora is smart. Fiora is smart. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Chovy, he can do whatever he wants. But Fiora is smart.
But
But
there's good thought around that. And
Yeah.
so I
yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that.
but if you take melee mid laners, melee AD mid laners,
Yeah.
you can actually
The mid
contend
lane
with
pool.
you can all actually contend with Tryndamere because he can't dive you. All of a sudden he's like, I can't dive him. It was the same idea with Gragas because if you dive
Yep.
him, all Gragas does is casks you away. And what are you gonna do?
Yeah, he just body slams you and casts you away. That's basically what Gragas does. And like,
Yeah. So, but the thing is, this is a discussion I've been having with someone over on Muncher server, Munchables, if anyone doesn't know. So we're having this conversation about this, like basically, is the Rise priority basically? Like he was saying that the Rise priority has fallen, and in my opinion, I don't think Rise priority has fallen because Rise has gotten weaker. It's
No.
because it's becoming a team identity question
yeah,
that whether you want a roaming mid or whether you want a laning mid.
hmm,
And in many cases, many of the play-in teams chose laning mid.
yeah,
When
Which I
when
think.
when
Oh, sorry. Finish.
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
which I think makes sense. But then again, when we get into groups and we get into groups like we get into teams like RNG or
Fnatic.
or Fnatic or Mad
yeah,
or
There will be
Dumb
much more rise
One
priority.
or
Yeah.
Dumb
I agree.
One, we will see more of these we'll see more of these
roaming mid.
roaming picks
Yeah,
Yep.
because
100%.
that's how they operate.
yeah.
and and I actually think they're not like these some of these roaming champions are not actually bad in lane, except for probably Silas. Yes, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Silas.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
It's really
Silas
hard
is
to have so many hard matchups. So yeah, but yeah, I agree 100%. Like the people that say that Rise priority has fallen to a certain degree, it has, but it's not because of Rise, like you're saying. It's totally dependent
oh
on how
no,
the meta has been shaping the.
oh no,
this mic
even
is gone.
TDS.
No.
Maybe it's the internet's fault at this point.
It's your
Uh,
maybe it's your internet's fault because we like I don't know what is it.
I have no idea. We're having some tech issues, ladies and gentlemen, but hopefully we
I
can
mean,
get
I
this
mean,
sorted soon.
what I'll do is I'll continuously check my feed to see if my feed is messed up or is it the feed on your end.
It
Then
seems
we'll probably know.
it seems to be. You're fine now. What did you do to fix it, Slayer?
Oh, I just reconnected.
Okay. You have a laptop, right, TDS? Oh, we can't reconnect
yeah.
the webcam there.
No, I mean you can reconnect the webcam.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
just
All right. Anyway, we'll.
well. From what I'm seeing right
There we go.
now,
There we go. All right, TDS, continue. Your point about
yeah,
Rise.
Okay.
yeah. From
Yeah.
what
No.
I'm
My
yeah.
what
Go
I
on.
what I just wanted to finish with was that in planes it made much more sense because teams are much more willing to just go around with anything because they
Yeah.
want to qualify for the groups. They are willing to throw anything out just so that they can get a better chance to qualify for groups. And they thought that the laning possibility was going to be better. But on groups themselves, itself, there's teams that are actually much more accustomed to a style, and they are going to play through the side. Like some of these teams play really around their jungle and their support roaming around with their mid laners.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, Mad, Fnatic, RNG,
FPX.
FPX as
Yeah.
well. There's still already relies on that so much that we are going to see much more focus on that. And if they try to change, then this may affect overall how most of these groups may change up, may end up because of how their style depends so much on being able to roam around the map.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on mid lane, basically. With now we're not completely what expected in play-ins, but hopefully in groups it will play more towards expectations now that we have
I
a
need
lot
more
more.
Jonas.
Yeah, a lot more.
Listen, has anyone seen Chovi's Yone yet? Chovi hasn't pulled it
No,
out yet.
I'm
Dude, we're
Dude,
disappointed.
waiting. We're waiting,
I'm
man.
disappointed.
I mean,
BYG's
listen,
game was perfect for that, and
I
he
mean, I
didn't
mean,
pull it out.
listen, listen, Chovy can play it. There's a bunch of other mid laners that have actually been playing it. So yeah,
Yep,
we're gonna see some Yones.
Yeah,
that's
So
what I'm hoping.
moving bot lane,
yeah.
right?
Bot lane,
Because
bot lane. We're
and
going to
and
bot
and
lane.
I'll combine ADCs and supports because you
Oh, why
can't go
not?
with one
Sure, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
I
Let's go
yeah,
agree.
for it.
one or the other. So to be honest, Lucian Nami, I feel like it's
It's a
one of
bait.
no, it's not a bait.
Oh,
No, I don't think it's a bait. I actually think it's a very strong duo, but under
but
the right hands.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
okay. I
I
agree.
actually think if you give it to Viper and Mako, or Upset and Healy,
Or
or
Guman Keria.
or Kuman Kerry or Teddy and
Guma
Keria,
Keria. I think Guma Keria.
Kuman
I don't
Keria,
think
Kuman
Teddy
Keria.
Keria that much.
I don't think Teddy and
Yeah.
Keria not as much. Yeah, I agree. But Guman Keria, if you give these, and even to a certain extent Matt's bot lane, or even to a certain extent other bot lanes that are aggressive in lane, you can
Yeah.
give this duo to them,
Mhm.
because they'll try to do something out of this. The the problem is, if you give it to Ghost and Barrel, yeah, it doesn't work.
No,
Or
Like
Sven and Vulcan from what I've seen.
DK
no,
might
Or
be.
Sven and Vulcan from what I've
Yeah.
seen.
I mean the other thing I want to
uh,
touch on before we completely move on, before we completely before you guys say something about it, Amumu might be the bait pick.
yeah.
It might be.
It's.
Yeah.
Bec- because
I'm
because
sad.
I don't think these like most of the plane supports, I don't think they have any idea how to play this champion.
I agree.
because because and it's not to say that I can play it better than them. No, I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not saying anything like that. It's more like I don't think they realize how bad Amumu is in lane.
Like,
I
I need
I think
to.
it's really bad. I think
Yeah.
Amumu is really bad in lane.
I think I can remember, and if I'm not wrong, it was one of the C9 games where in lane, not out of lane because Vulcan entered the hell out of lane, but in lane there was a trade where Leona went in, and then
Yes.
for some reason he tried to re-engage,
Yeah.
hits a
That was
minion,
against DFM.
gets completely seed and dies. Like Amumu, and this is my opinion for Amumu. I think Amumu is the best engaged support in the game, but
Yes.
you cannot play him as a Leona, as a Nautilus, because he doesn't have the innate resistances to be a
Yeah.
Leona and a Nautilus.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need
Yes.
to be much more smart how you play a Mumu. And they
No.
just jump
Yeah.
in without thinking anything.
Yeah, but I actually think that the one support that I feel like has shown a lot of success, and I expect it to continue, it's Rakan. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Rakan is too strong in this meta, and we'll see this rotating wheel in support with Rakan, Leona, Braum,
I think a Mumu will keep on being on the meta, even
Amumu.
if it
But
doesn't have that.
my biggest surprise is no Thresh. Where's Thresh,
I
guys?
think Thresh is only picked with the Filios.
Yeah,
No,
I think Thresh has
no,
been picked just with a fillers, no bans,
no.
not even bans. Yeah, it's surprising to see the lack of Thresh, especially with so much low mobility AD carries. Because
Yeah.
apart from Lucian, the rest are no mobility, so
No, I mean,
surprising
I can understand taking an engaged support with MF
to set
to
up for her ultimate.
set up everything for MF.
Yeah,
But if you talk about, except for those two, if you talk about Ezreal, okay, fine, Ezreal can be with anyone. But then you have Aphelios, very good for Thresh, and if you pick Thresh, you all of a sudden have a chance to pick other ADCs. And I'm like, why aren't you picking Thresh? It's still very good. Nothing happened to him.
It's surprising to see. I think it's probably the amount of focus, like you're saying, with other 80 like because the meta has been stable, it has stabilized into MF, Ezreal, and Lucian to a certain degree, and Draven is big and man pretty much. So do you kind of stabilize on those four champions, and the three champions that are kind of most played either have self-healing potential or you need setup for one or for the misfortune. So I
Still,
think that that's
yeah.
why teams have been shying away from the Thresh. But I agree. I'm surprised with the lag, especially with how many players love to play Thresh.
Yeah,
I actually think we'll see more MF and Lucian bans in the group stage
we might. Yeah.
Yeah,
because because
I think
I
that's
feel
so
like
strong.
Lucian is in a state that you need to kind of ban him. If you're facing a dominant bot lane, you need to ban him.
Hmm.
The Draven
Yeah.
thing, I don't think you necessarily need to unless you know for a fact that your opponent plays Draven. But even then, I think there are ways to punish a Draven.
Although, funnily enough, talking about the Draven Quickling groups, I think in each group there's a team that has a dedicated
Sure.
a player that can play Draven. So it's going to be
Yeah.
fun seeing those
Yeah.
big end bands against those teams.
Yeah. 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 I mean, we'll see. Given kind of the wild card among ADCs at the moment, we'll see if it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Sadly,
think it's
Juan
so
but
Feng
strong.
and Jackie Love not here, and Worlds to be able to show us some of the best Draven plays. Very
I am
unfortunate,
not
but
impressed with Ezreal so far though. But because I think some games Ezreal has gotten turbo fed and he just carries games. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I
hmm.
don't think Ezreal quite fits, given he's not he doesn't really scale well into the mid game unless he gets really ahead.
I mean, we'll see because
I
I
Yeah,
don't
think
I don't
Ezreal is probably just the safe ADC pick, right? Like
yes.
if
it's
he
pretty
will fit
much.
into any composition, basically, he's literally the Zoe of bot lane at the moment.
Yep.
Like if he
You pretty
can't,
He
much
is.
see it on teams that are perfectly fine leaving the Ezreal alone for almost 20 minutes, pretty
Yeah.
much,
yeah,
and that's what most teams have been doing.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. All right. So moving on a bit from the meta, we're gonna go into the next part. We talk about bot lane supports and basically, all right, and what we expect to see out of groups. But right now, talking about the results of the play-ins. And guys, where do we start? There's so many things to start with. All right, let's start with Group A. LNG and HLE out. Of course,
Expected.
by not by out, I don't mean out of worlds. I mean they made it out of the play-ins and into the group stage. I probably should
Yeah.
have faced that better, but there we go. I mean, it's as to be
Yeah.
expected, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's it's what most people thought was going to happen when they saw the group, and in all honesty, it was going to be seeing the games play out. It was going to happen like that. Group A, if Hanwha Life or LNG don't come out of that, it would be the most embarrassing thing a team from LCK Replay could have ever faced because
Yeah.
the teams in that group were no match for them.
Yeah.
Like in reality.
But honestly, on that note, all I want to say is, people after watching Hanwha Live day one, they were like, "Yeah, this team's not very good." But then day two and onwards, Hanwha Live just kicked in a gear that I didn't expect. Like they kicked in a gear like, "No, no,
They
no, no, no,
they
we're
got
good, we're
Oh
good,
no.
they got
we're
better.
very good,
Yeah,
we're
but
very good."
I do want to talk a little bit about how now bringing it up on day one. And for the first day, actually, I was really surprised. Not with the fact of the play, but the players that I expect the least to be able to perform actually were the ones that to me surprised me because they didn't play badly for me. Morgan and Wheeler, to a certain degree, I think that they were really under expectations, and to me, they played stable and didn't cause a team. I was much more disappointed on Dev and Vista on that day one because I think that Deft was, yes, he's cocky and all that, but I think that he was playing way more out of position, way more out of his usual style that we saw in play in the knockouts from the LCK. So I wasn't really disappointed with that much more. But I gotta say, Morgan, and we talked a little bit about this at the start. Morgan has been much better than what I expected. Obviously, it's not. He's still not that at that level of top laners, but I think that as a liability, he can be much more useful now than before.
Yeah.
I want to say caveat to that though. Morgan hasn't really been facing the top tier
Yeah, no,
top
that
lane
I
is
mean,
true.
he faced
competition
Ale. He
Okay, he
faced
Against
faced
Ale,
Ale
Ale
he did a
once and
good job.
guys ass beaten
Against
up.
Ale, he did a good job. He solo
against
killed him once,
Ale.
if
He
I'm
did
not
a good
wrong.
job against
I think he
Ale.
solo killed him, right?
Did he?
Huh?
No, I
I
don't
think
think
he
so.
solo
No, no,
killed
no, no,
him.
no.
No, no,
He didn't
no.
He
solo kill
didn't.
him, but Morgan kept Ali
Yeah,
at bay in lane.
yeah, that is true. I
He
think,
did
and
not.
he got
On
counterpicked.
Irelia,
He got
Irelia,
counterpicked.
much
No,
less.
It was
Yeah, Jax is a counter
it
pick.
was
Jax
it
is a
was
counter pick.
it was Jack's last pick, if I'm not wrong,
yeah,
against
yeah,
Aurelia, or
Yes,
fourth pick
yes.
against.
yeah.
So yeah, he did a really good job in that game. He died a couple of times randomly, but that's the thing of Morgan. But laning wise, he did a really nice job, and it's not something that we typically see from Morgan. So yeah, I think Morgan and Wither surprised me with how positive they were in comparison to what I was expecting. And then we saw when Deft and Besta kind of come back into the group, it was way better for How Alive.
I honestly think Hanwalev hasn't played their best yet because Chovy hasn't looked like himself yet.
I agree.
I mean,
True.
I mean, the moment Chovy starts looking like himself, I give it one Silas game, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, there's Chovy.
They have
So
they have 6 gaming groups for Chovy to appear. As long as
yeah,
he appears after in the first or second one, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it
I
should
mean,
be.
I mean, I mean, they only look pretty good to me. So yeah, if Chovy shows up, yeah, this team's gonna have a lot of fireworks.
I guess that's the thing that didn't like come to expectations, right? I think everyone expected HLE to come to this group, and then Chovy is gonna be the one that slaps everyone upside their heads, completely 1v9s in the game. But it just didn't happen, right? For
It,
for HLE.
it
Yep.
so the criticism between for HLE was that when everyone looked at HLE coming into Worlds, they were like they're very good individual players, but they're not a team. What play-in showed me that they're a team. I think they're more of a team than people expect they are because I think they
Yep.
improved as a team. They played better as a team despite Choving not being at his best. It's like, yeah, we saw
Which
Def
is a
popping
good
off,
sign.
but yeah, it's a good sign. Like, it's like they're actually coming together, and
And I
we
think
can see that.
I
I know.
think
I'm
that
still a
if they didn't
doubter.
play,
I'm
I
still
think
a
if they
doubter,
didn't play
guys.
LNG the first game, they probably could have taken first place. I think that if they played LNG last, there's a good chance they take first place
Yeah,
because I think that
I
LNG
agree.
outplayed them in the thing that you're saying as a team. I think LNG outplayed them in team fights and the like because I think that Howlite was doing a good job in the early stages. But when team fights came as a team, LNG outplayed them. So I think that if they play in the last game, it could have been much closer than what the first game showed
Yeah,
us.
because I think comparing game like day one HLE to the rest of the play-ins, HLE looked like a completely different team.
Yeah,
They they look different. Like, like, I don't know who flipped the switch. Someone did, but
but I'm
yeah,
glad someone did. Yeah.
yeah, someone flipped the switch on these other guys. Like, Chove is only a matter of time, but the rest, man, that's a flip.
Well, that's what we
So
hope. So, though, we hope
I
that
mean,
Chovy appears. There's a chance that he doesn't appear, and then things may look a little bit harder for Hanwha. But if he appears, it's going to be much better.
and
I don't know about this
just
one,
briefly
guys.
talking about, yeah,
I
I
don't.
think briefly talking about LNG. Briefly talking about LNG, I actually when I saw LNG play, I felt like they looked how I expected them to.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're very topside dominant. Their
Yeah.
topside is going to win them games. Icon, if Icon's consistent, they're going to win that way. But it's like their bot lane wasn't
Yeah, I'm
as
surprised by
impressive.
that, right? Usually it was Light and Iwandi that's kind of consistent in the bot lane, but they were been a bit underwhelming, so to speak. The first game in HLE, there were some very egregious mistakes coming from Light.
That does bring me some
Yeah,
concerns,
Yeah,
by the
and I
way.
was
That
like,
does
yo,
bring me
wait,
some concerns.
this never happens. Light never does these kinds of things.
yeah.
What is happening?
That's also why I had like reminder previously to the first chapter that never appeared. Uh, I had
The
Light
lost
really high
chapter.
up. I had Light really a high up because I think that he was one of the most consistent members of LNG, and his play has been so I don't want to say underwhelming, but just not there. And it's not. It just feels kind of sad to see
Mm.
because I think LNG has the potential to come out of groups if they continue playing consistently. But Light and Iwandi need to appear. Also, quick thing about Light and Iwandi as well in the first game. One of the things that surprised me from LNG was we know that they are a top heavy team, top side heavy team with their playstyle, but they focus so much on trying to cover for a Light and Iwandi that also helped them in being able to win the game. Because if they just tunnel on winning topside, I think that they probably win that game because bot lane was going to be so weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I
Uh,
mean, Ale was doing fine in the top lane, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
wasn't completely winning against Morgan, but
but
as
he
the
was
game
on
goes
Jax.
later, Jax just gets
Yeah, but he
stronger
was
and
on
stronger.
Jax. He was on Jax.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
Jax.
understand you understand that they have to go bot lane and cover because they can't afford to let bot lane lose. My concern with this is that with LNG is going forward, like if the bot lane keeps playing like this, I mean, it's gonna be rough in that
Where did
group.
LNG slot in? Oh,
Into
oh,
the
he
group that
slotted
has
into Group D.
three really good bot lanes.
I actually think there's one. I actually think there's one potentially like top tier bot lane, one potentially top tier bot lane, and two solid bot lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
who do you
then
have as
there's Light and
the
I
top
want
tier?
D, and then there's Light and I want D, and we don't know where to put them because they looked off in play-ins. Like Deft and Vista was actually playing well against them. You know, in a day that they were looking off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
So
Deft and Vista was looking off. Like if anyone watched Deft's Ezreal
It
in the
felt
first game,
so
it
strange.
was it was so strange. Like I I was like watching that game. I was thinking, what is Deft doing? Like he deals
And
no
that's one of
damage.
his most
What's he
iconic
doing?
picks.
Yeah,
That's the
I
most
mean,
surprising
what
thing.
is Deft
That's why we
doing?
know that it's random. Yeah,
I mean, what's
it
Steph doing? And
wasn't.
even then, like, they
They
didn't look
weren't
very
they
good.
were winning
And
bottom.
and and then there was Lights MF. Oh God, I don't think Lights has practiced with MF. I don't think he has practiced with MF.
yeah, I agree.
Uh,
It
I
doesn't
I
look
think
too
the
hot.
I think the meta has I think the meta has thrown them off a bit because I actually think that this is a point of concern for LNG.
Yeah, it might end
he
up
is
being.
much more of a auto attack AD carry player than a
He's an
caster,
affiliate.
right?
Yeah, he goes for affiliates. That
So
kind of those kinds of
it may be
champs.
kind of a thing like with Teddy in 2019, where he was much more of an actual AD carry, auto attack AD carry than a caster AD carry, and most of
Yeah,
the time he was put on the map or duty or something like that. So he wasn't as comfortable. Obviously, there's chances where you can cover that up with team play and things like that, or just being able to carry in team fights. But it may be a situation like that where Light may just take a little bit of time before he actually feels comfortable playing those kind of AD carries, because the playstyle obviously changes a little bit. Even if you go for the much more crit oriented build, you still need to be able to use your Q, your E's, your ultimates as Miss Fortune, because there's so
yeah,
much of Miss Fortune's kit that if you don't use it, you pretty much are lacking damage.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I ac-
So
yeah.
you have something to say, Slayer, before
No,
we?
I actually think the current meta suits aggressive bot lanes, and Light and Iwandi are not very aggressive. That's pretty much what this
That's
stands.
fair. That's fair. I mean, all right. So that's what we got between LNG and HLE. They made it out, but of course, we have to talk about the teams that didn't make it out. The playing teams that weren't able to make it through for Group A. At least since we're talking about them, Peace. They fought a lot harder than we expected them to.
Yes.
Yep.
Getting a few wins under their belt. Red Canids. Their early game was great. Unfortunately, their mid game decision making did not.
They were a team of rookies. So uh, I will try. I give that caveat there. They were a team of rookies, so it's positive for the future
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
stick
yeah.
together, try and
Positive.
improve.
It's
They
positive.
beat
Positive.
LNG in the early game, which is like much more than you can say for a lot of
Yeah.
other teams. So definitely some a team to look out for in the future. And
And
our
that's it.
disappointment of the
No
our,
other teams in the group that greatly played by everyone else on the group. There's no other teams there. We can just move to Group B.
I mean, honestly, I think when we wrap up the play-ins bit, we should do a Dade Award and MVP. Seriously,
I don't
because
know.
I have a strong thing about.
I think that's copyright by Summoning
Okay,
Insight.
let's
I
Oh
don't allow
no.
let's
that
go for
one.
Nami Award then.
I think
Let's give our
maybe
Nami Award.
Nami Award. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I think you should just go for the Nami Award instead.
All right.
I mean, I mean,
For
I mean,
play-ins,
Infinity.
who would you give the
I mean,
Nami Award to?
Infinity was so bad by themselves.
Oh,
It's like
they were.
it's like you gotta just put Infinity there. I mean, I don't like. I actually think only from Infinity, only one player stood out. I think he actually tried his best, and that was Bugax. Bugax kind of tried his best, but it was like, holy shit! What else was going on with this team? I don't
It's
know.
weird, right? Because especially Infinity,
It's
who played at MSI,
it's
people
not that
expected
weird.
a lot more from them, I think. But
Really?
Yeah. I think people did. They expected a bit more
Yeah,
because they
you
already
kind of
had.
expect some improvement. They
Yeah,
actually, in my opinion, they actually looked worse.
yeah, that's the thing. They looked worse.
I I don't expect, like, we had this conversation before. I don't expect anything from this region, not because they're bad players, but because they don't try to think outside of just being better players. And and I mean better players mechanically, and that's a huge problem for the region as a whole. Because I think that bringing Korean players here, it's not going to stop the lack of intelligence from most players. It's not bringing other players from other regions and things like that. It's trying to actually think and
Yeah,
try and improve in other areas, and that's a problem that a lot of things. I think the last team that tried to go outside of that was R7, when they had one of the most, to a certain degree, stacked rosters that were in Latin America. But at the same time, they tried to play much more around the map and move around, and I think that had to do with their jungler, because that was one of the best junglers that Latin America has produced, which was, if I'm not
Jose
wrong,
Diodo.
Odi, Odi,
Oh
Odi,
wait,
Odi, Odi.
what? It wasn't Jose Diodo from last year. We lost your audio.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
there we
sorry,
go.
sorry, sorry.
We're back. We're back. Did you mute
Yeah,
yourself?
no, it was before. No, no, no. That was strange. I was trying to say something, but
You got
no,
censored, like just like Slayer last time. But anyway,
I got censored. No, but well, I don't know
wait,
anymore. I'm
wait,
just
Rainbow. Wait,
salty.
which Rainbow Seven roster are you talking about?
Rainbow Seven. I think it was season 8
Wow, that's a
when
long
oh,
they
time
were.
ago. Okay, I thought you were
They
talking about
yeah,
last year.
they No, no, no. It's not that it was bad, but last year I don't think it was, or it was Rainbow Seven.
Yeah,
Well,
it
it
was
may
Rainbow
be bad.
Seven.
But for me, it was much more the one that had Audi and Seiya in the mid lane. I think that was one of the
Okay.
better Rainbow Seven rosters that tried to actually move around. And Jose Diodo was an okay thing, but I think that he was much more mechanical
yes,
than
Yeah.
what Audi was,
yes.
which
Yeah.
because I'm not sure if you guys have ever watched Latin America or anything like that, which I don't assume you would. But in words wise, Odi was much more the smart jungler kind of.
Cerebral.
I know that this is a way out of place comparison, but I think he was much more into what a score was. That was just outpathing you and thinking over you, much
Mm-hmm.
more than just outplaying you.
Yeah.
And Jose Diodo is much more in the vein of trying to be that mechanically gifted jungler that will outplay you at almost any point. And that's why I think that when Rainbow Seven came in with Oli and with Seiya, they were a much better and more coordinated team. Obviously, they failed, but they were a better team to watch in that regard.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah,
fair.
but actually think after this, Latin America just becomes a tier for wildcard region. Sadly, it's like
Yeah,
It'd
that's
be
where
like
we are
that.
now.
It
That's
definitely
where
be like that.
that's where we are now. I mean, them and
I'm
CIS will
hoping we
probably go
mix
there
with
now.
NA someday.
Huh?
I'm
Maybe.
hoping we just mix with NA someday
I
so
can
that
see
we can
Latin
actually
America
get
North doing
value.
that. I don't know about Latin America South though.
The thing
Yeah.
is, there's no Latin America South.
Oh
There's
wait, it's
just
gone
LAN.
now.
Yeah, it was mixed so that
Okay,
Now,
there could
right?
just be a
It's
big
Brazil
league.
now, right?
No, Brazil had their own league. It's
Brazil has its
Brazil,
own
Latin
thing,
America,
Yeah.
because Brazil speaks. They have enough player base for themselves. Latin
and
America
also
as a
they don't
whole.
speak Spanish. They speak Portuguese. So
Yeah.
It's not that hard. There's players that have that from LAN that went to Brazil to play there. I think White Lotus had a stint on Brazil
oh
Yes.
really?
playing. He almost won. He
Oh,
almost went to MSI.
my one's gone again.
Oh well. Oh no.
It's not a feed problem, by the way, Miles.
Yeah.
It's not a feed problem. It's basically, I think, an internet issue.
Okay. I mean,
From
it'd be
what I can
like
see.
that.
Crawling,
All right.
asking.
While we wait for you to reconnect, we're just gonna, I guess, move on to Group B,
I'm done.
where
To
I'm
bigger
done.
and better things.
I'm done.
to bigger and better things. Unfortunately for Latin America, I actually didn't know. I thought they still held the Latin America South, Latin America North, and they competed to see who would go to Worlds.
Yeah,
But
no, I like the change because that means that now you focus the league on one place and there's better chances for sponsors. I
that's
think
fair.
that the league became much more profitable because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they also moved the team so that they would be in the server closer to NA, so they had better practice as well.
Is everyone in Mexico? Is it? It's played in Mexico,
Yeah,
right?
it's in
Okay.
Mexico, so
Okay.
they have direct they have closer access to NA, which means that practice wise they get better practice.
Okay, that's fair.
But
That's good.
obviously they don't improve in the right area, so it's not that easy. But I am hopeful. I think maybe one day we will begin producing results, because one of the things that Latin America does, even outside of league, and I talked about this in sports, player wise, I think Latin America produce good players. It's the same in sports. It's just how well you utilize that talent
Mm-hmm.
production in the sports. And in America, unlike in normal sports where talent can carry you much more, in games you need to be much more willing to learn and other things. And I think that there's good chance for that. Like we have seen other players in other games being able to go that extra mile, like
Yeah.
for example MK Leo. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's going to be positive in the
Those who
future.
don't know, MK Leo is a Smash player, Smash Ultimate, one of
One
the
of the
best.
best.
Yeah, one of the best. So there you go. For those who don't know, check his tapes out. They're pretty good. But yeah. Anyway, all right. There. We're talking about people kind of forget that League is actually a strategy game, guys. You need to play
Yeah.
together as a team and play around the map. Sometimes a lot of
Who
people
would
tend
say
to
that
forget
being
that.
good it's not enough?
Yeah, just because you're a mechanically good player, it doesn't carry you like it used to do back in the earlier seasons of League. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Where Riot really made it so that you have to be really good at team play to be able to win at the game, especially at this professional level where everyone's basically nearly the same mechanically. Honestly, it's very hard to one up each other in that regard. Maybe major region versus minor region. It's starting. Even the gap is starting to close there. We started to see. But anyway, enough about Group A. We're going to Group B, where strange things
Woo.
happened, guys. Things that made me happy, personally.
I'm
But
glad as well that it happened. Even
personally,
if it took so many things to happen, I'm glad it happened. And I remember reading one funny commentary and one funny comment on Reddit, obviously Reddit.
yeah.
When DFM beat Cloud9, and they were saying Arya, how Arya was one of the best players, and I don't like that. And someone was like, imagine if they go out of group stage, Arya becomes the anime protagonist, an actual Japanese player being able to play with the greatest, and everyone seems to don't know that the fact that Arya is actually Korean.
No one,
So
no one knows that Arya's
yeah,
Korean. That's a rip. But all
yeah, I
right,
hope I hope that people knows
guys.
now that
DF.
Arya and Gang are
Yeah.
Korean.
To those who probably not unaware, if you haven't seen it all over the news, I wonder what rock you've been living under. But Japan has finally made it into the group stage of Worlds. Detonation Focus Me took first place in the play-in stage, beating out Cloud9, North America's third representatives. They won the group. They made it to group stage without
Yep.
having to play a best of 5. Of course, congratulations to the
They,
Japanese region. I know the unofficial Eagles casters. Namira
I
initialized
saw the reactions.
Mass Swanson. It was the best reaction ever. I
That
felt
was so
so
great.
good. There were some manly tears coming out of my eyes when I saw it. But yeah, congrats, of course, to Japan for making it through.
I
All it took
hope
was
to
getting
leave
three
that reaction
Koreans,
in a couple of
apparently.
years.
I'm just kidding.
Yep. Hey, as long as you get the job done, like Latin America has been importing Koreans,
Oh
it
yeah,
hasn't worked. So if you get the job done, it's going to be worth it.
yeah,
Okay,
definitely. I'm
perfect.
not I'm not trying to bash DFM or anything. I really
No, no, no,
admire the team.
no, and they played great. They played great. I think
Yeah,
that
they
even
played
if
good.
they don't come out first, they probably get out. They beat whoever second seed is coming from Group A.
Yeah,
I 100% believe that. They
yeah, I
were
agree
way
too.
way better.
I mean, also the standouts were actually some of the standouts were actually also the Japanese players. Like Evie
Yeah,
and Yutapon did extremely well.
I think
Barring the
Eddie
first
much more than
game.
Jutapon, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, especially Evie. But after that first game, it felt like DFM just finally turned on. We finally saw the Exodia that we've been expecting coming from them ever since MSI when Kazu was
it
still
took
stepping in for Gang, and now
it
it's
took a couple of
activated.
years, but it's finally here.
Yeah, it took a couple of years, man. You gotta shuffle the cards and sort them out in order to get that 5 man. That's
See, I still remember when it wasn't Arya, but it was
Seros. It was Seros.
Zeros.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Heimerdinger six player. Not bashing him. It's just that like people say that they have the same team previously, but and with Zeros they probably could. But the reality was that Zeros warped draft so much
Mm.
because he couldn't play to the same level as other mid laners, that it made winning for DFM much harder. And when Arya came in, it became easier for them to draft because Arya can play much better things and he can actually fight for himself in mid lane.
Yeah, I think
my
probably now
concern
that
with DFM, my
uh,
concern with DFM is only top lane.
Slayer, your mic.
Uh, wait.
I think your webcam mic is on, Slayer.
Oh, okay.
We need
It
your
sounded so
we
funny,
need your
like he
headset
was
mic.
out of place.
Yeah, alright. So while Slayer fixes that, we can talk more about Arya. The superstar mid laner of DFM, of course, performed extremely well against his peers so far in the play-ins. What do you
Yeah, it
think of
should be
I
his
think
fine
the
now.
best.
what do you guys think of his
Oh,
performance so far? So far in the league, because you would think this guy's the second coming of Jesus. You talk to the LJL, and there is the Church of Arya, of course.
wow.
So, like, what do you guys think
Okay,
of
that's a
Arya? What
little
do you guys
bit.
think of Arya?
I think he was the best mid laner in that
Yeah, I
group.
think I'm good. Okay.
Okay,
Go on.
yeah. I'll just say I think he was the best mid laner in that group over Perks as well. I think
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
he played so
Yeah.
exceptionally well. I think he was one of the main reasons why DFM did so much, and not because he tried and move around so much or anything like that, but the amount of pressure that he brings to open up for other places is really important.
Yeah.
And it's really important to have a mid laner that can draw bans, that can draw pressure from third places, because it opens up for Evi to bring out counter picks like the Urgot and then be able to execute with them. It brings out the potential for a gang to move around the map and try and help the mid lane so that you can carry through there, or roam around with gang to try and do other things in the map. And I think that Arya's performance overall was so good.
Yeah. My thing is my issue with DFM, and I've said this, is Evi, because I feel like even though he's a very good player, his champion pool is a question mark. Like he's like for at the end he basically played Urgot.
Yeah.
Yep. And he
Yeah.
got and just as the caveat, he played Urgot and he was able to win because he teleported bot lane. I think in the last two games he teleported bot lane, gets one or two kills, and then he doesn't have to worry about being in so much of a CS deficit.
Yeah.
Because I think both games he was in a CS deficit.
Yeah.
So it may be a situation where Urgot, even though can work in a couple of places, it's not because you want to use it as a counter pick, but because you probably don't have anything else to play that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And if that's the case against actual top laners, it can be really bad. Luckily, they are in Group B, right? In Group B, right?
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
not the best place to take full advantage out of top laners. But T1 does play topside, and I think Flandre doesn't give any advantages like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean
it's not bad, but not good either.
yeah, I mean, all of the top laners in that group will not give you advantages. They will be like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna sit still here. I'm gonna be fine. And Kana's the only one who's gonna be like, yeah,
Might randomly
I want
flip
to
it.
kill you. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
kind of
much.
might randomly flip it. We'll see.
yeah,
But he does have much more support from the team. So even if he tries to flip it, there's going to be at least a jungle or even Faker going top lane.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
so at least like that's a situation where at least it will make sense. So that's what I'm saying. Even if it's not the worst of groups to punish Effie, it's not the best of groups to take advantage of either.
That's
yes,
true. I mean, to be fair, I think in the C9 game where they really targeted Evie, gave him the old Darius treatment where they were basically in his lane 24/7 and he couldn't really lane, and DFM kind of got crippled because of that. Although to be fair, it was probably a draft diff for the first game against
And a
Cloud9.
Vulcan Dave.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the Vulcan diff worked for DFM in their last game
yeah.
versus Cloud9.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing. The difference between in this group, it's the mid lane and bot lane. And this group has one of the most stacked bot lanes and one of the most stacked mid lane. And
Yeah,
so
I mean, to be fair, even though we say that DFM has been in Group B and their mid lane has been good and they've
Mhm.
been playing well, the thing is, like I don't know where to rank them because when we saw C9, it looked like when C9 was playing good, only parts of them was playing good. Like if bot lane was
yep,
playing good, top lane wasn't. If top lane was playing good, mid lane wasn't. And mid lane was playing good, something else wasn't. And Blabber was playing good, nothing else was. Like
that
like
It's
that
like that's
sounds like C9 of summer, pretty
yeah,
much.
and DFM beat that kind of C9 and it was not at their peak. So you
Yeah.
kind of think like, yeah, where is DFM really?
It's a good question, yeah. On how do you rank him? Do you guys expect them to go 0-6 in this group?
No,
No,
no.
I think they can take game.
Yeah,
I
I
think they
agree.
can take actually two games. I
I
think they can
agree.
take two games.
I agree with that.
One will be against 100 Thieves. This is my personal prediction. Obviously, it's based on my feelings and everything like that. One is against 100 Thieves. and one will be against either T1 or ADG. I don't know which, but one of the two will lose a game here, and the team that loses this game is second place.
To be honest,
I'm
I don't
gonna.
expect DFM. I don't expect DFM to go like like 0-6.
I
I
don't
think they
Yeah,
either.
I
will.
think they are not
They
TSM.
will.
Don't worry.
But yeah, Group B is gonna be like there's one top dog and then there's three other people trying to fight for one spot. That's pretty much what's gonna happen.
I don't.
And
I really don't think that much about Group D like that. I think there's a top dog, but I think there's a second dog. There's an alpha and a beta dog, pretty much. I think there's
I
no
I, I
there's no
actually
less.
with that I think there's one alpha dog and three beta dogs.
I
So
don't. I don't think 100 tips or DFM are beta dogs. I really think they're like gamma dogs, pretty much, or omega dogs. Like
Gamma
they're over there. Just leave them there.
I mean
They
I mean
will fight for that small bone that is left, pretty much.
we have differing opinions of that. We'll get to
I,
that.
I really don't have that much expectations, but if it turns out like you said, it can probably be a better group than I think
So
it will
yeah.
be.
I actually have some expectations of this group being a bit volatile. But yeah, go on.
All right.
The only thing that I hope. Oh wait,
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
end.
yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
only thing that I really hope, and I said this previously, and I really hope I don't jinx it. Please, EVG, don't choke. Don't appear.
We can
Don't
talk about it during Group B. Let's save it for
All
that.
right.
Go on,
Yeah,
No,
Gus.
yeah,
but
yeah.
just please don't do it, please.
All
That's
right.
it.
No beef. EDG is here henceforth. Not allowed to consume any beef
I hope.
noodles
Yeah, I
from
hope. Please
henceforth.
don't do it.
They're just not allowed. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about the other team that, of course, made it out of Group B, which is the team that we expected to top the group but didn't. It is Cloud9. Now,
Uh
uh,
topping the group is a little bit too much. I expected them to get out. I thought it was
No,
going to be
no,
BYG.
no. I think it was prime position for them to top this
No.
group.
They, after first, they 100%. Like they choked themselves out. They chokehold themselves out pretty much. It was their fault. But I was
maybe I'm
expecting
just maybe
They
BYG to
my
be
lost
a
to
little bit better.
UOL.
maybe I have
They
recency
lost to
bias as well.
UOL.
But it's the most anything to do. Win against better teams, and then in the last day, when you just did one more win, lose to all. Because why not?
Yeah.
That's the most anything to do.
Yeah, honestly, the thing about Cloud9 is like, what do you guys make of this team? Because it feels like this team can either be good or very bad, depending on the
So,
day.
so the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, when one part of the map is playing good for them and the others aren't, it's like they've never quite synced to. Hey, we need to play at this level. Everyone needs to be at this level, and that has never happened
Yeah. It's
ever,
always it's always
ever.
like you're saying. It's always like one is 9 and the others are 3 or 4 for some reason.
Yeah.
Instead of like if everyone is at 6 or 7, like around here, if everyone is 6 or 7, you can still do a lot of things, right? Like you don't need to be here to be able to win. You're not Caps. You don't need to overperform to try and to become flippy. You need consistency because your team works better with consistency, and they don't show that consistency. Now they have the
And
players
actually
to be able
think,
to pull it
yeah.
off, which is surprising. But
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think I spoke a bit about it during our planes episode. Like, it feels like Cloud9 has a disconnect.
yep,
It feels like there's a disconnect
That makes
in
sense.
with their players. It like I don't know why it just feels like it because it's like one game. It's like we all saw the game from Blabber with Olaf. Like he was just 1v9ing pretty much that game.
Yeah.
But when Blabber was doing everything, everyone was like, eh? Like that's the issue. Like why are you do something? I mean I sure you 3-0 peace, but it's peace.
but it's peace. Yeah, exactly.
You need
And
to be a bit better.
It's not
Like,
just peace.
feel-
It's peace with the sub top.
yes.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the worst part. Like a sub top that was retired until 2 months ago, pretty much.
He wanted to come back, but
Yeah, like
he's still
yeah,
very
but
good. He's still pretty good,
I
but
know,
he's
but
still a
No,
sub
no, yeah,
top.
being
no,
able to
no
come
disrespect to
back
Visi, of course.
takes time.
No, yeah.
Like at all. I think he's a great player, but it takes time to be able to return to the form that he was. It wasn't going to be immediate, especially at Worlds. It wasn't going to
Yes.
be immediate.
Especially,
Yeah.
you know, as a team, right?
fact that-
You need time to be
Yeah.
able to gel together. And
Yeah.
To be
And
fair,
he's not going to stay at peace.
Peace made it look
I
good.
don't think he's going to stay at peace.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
But
I
Peace made
don't
it
think
look
he's going
good.
to stay at peace. So
Oh no, no,
yeah, it's going to be.
I think he wants to come back to the LEC, and
Yeah,
we
I think
might
he's
see
going
that.
to. I think he's going to U Master to the
ERLs. ERLs.
ERLs first, and then he comes back to
I
LEC.
think he might get an LEC job.
Oh,
I think
really?
because
Mm.
the LEC top laners are not in a good spot, and you know
But
this.
I think it would be much well not much smarter. I think that it would be better for him to take a first step
Of
a
course,
step
of
back
course,
because
of course.
because obviously he took time. But I feel like if he returns back to form, he's going to be one of the better top laners.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, but
that's not going
yeah,
to be a
yeah,
question.
but the other thing is, if you go to the URL ERLs, like it's you're not going to really come back if there's a prospect that's younger than you.
Well,
That's the
yeah,
problem. That's the problem. So I feel like if
yeah,
he
that may
has
be
a
true.
LEC job, I think he should take it. I
That's
think
fair. All right, we're
Well, yeah,
getting
they
a bit
if
off
he has it,
topic,
then
guys. We're getting
yeah,
a bit
let's
off
go.
topic. Talking
But
about
yeah,
busy. We're talking about
with
busy Chachi. But yeah, back to Cloud9. All right.
with C9 for me, it's like you're saying that this connect between players can be a really big problem. Same with the fact that I don't know how consistent can they be in their performance because they are all over the place. And I
Mhm.
think that that difference between the disconnection between players, it's funnily enough for me the main difference why I don't think they cannot make top eight, because if they were much more of a team, player wise, they have the skill to be able to reach top eight. I think that they have one of the better chances. Well, sadly, they are in the worst group possible. Like
Yeah, that's
we
also
need to
true.
remind that they're against FPX and DK, so I don't expect them to be. But they could have had one of the better showings in NA, even if it
yes,
was against two of those teams.
That's
yes.
So
true.
it's kind of sad. And even then, they probably could have won the NA. I think that they have a better team than
Yeah,
100 Thieves and TL.
They
yeah.
did win
But
NA
it's
after
just
all in spring, but
yeah,
yeah,
but
just
they
things
did
didn't
it.
come
But the
together.
disconnect in summer, disconnect other teams came together, and Avatake came and Reaper came. But if they disconnected way too much, and I think that that has become one of their main problems, and one of the things that I don't think it's going to be solved in this iteration of C9. I think that it's going to get broken.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. That's probably a
I,
discussion we'll save for
I,
next
I,
year.
I yeah, I honestly think there'll be a change at least in C9, and it's
Wanna
not
bet on
gonna be
where?
nice. Huh?
Wanna bet on where?
Top lane.
I think it's support.
I think it's top
Support or
lane.
AD carry. Sorry, I support or AD
I
carry. I
was
think
gonna say
it's
I
support
was
or AD
gonna say
carry.
AD carry.
No, I think it's gonna be top lane. I
It's going
don't
to be fun.
no
You
I
don't think
don't think
Fudge stays?
I don't think Fudge fits with the team. I
That may be true. I can see that.
I actually think given how I've seen them play and how I've seen them draft, like it's been better in the play-ins, but when I saw them drafting in back in the LCS,
Hmm.
Yeah,
it felt as if they didn't have an idea on how to draft for Fudge.
All right,
it's going to be so fun
It's
that's
like
seeing
fair.
where it goes.
it's like they have no idea how to do that,
All right.
and that's a problem.
We're a couple of months away from the announcement of thank you, Sin and Fudge. Welcome, TSM Fudge.
Just to be just to
I
the
mean, we don't
viewers,
know where Fudge is gonna go.
guys, we don't have any
Yeah,
inside
we don't
info.
know.
All right,
We don't have any insight, but
it's
I
just
have this.
it's just
I have
I'm
this
just-
gut feeling that
conjecture.
Fudge, yeah,
I'm
Fudge
just a
might be
dude
top
from
man out.
Colombia. I don't have any insight on anything. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
No, I don't think Fudge. I don't think it's necessarily C9 will want to remove Fudge. It'll be more
Yeah.
like Fudge will want to. Fudge
Leave.
will want to leave because because it very much looks like Fudge is on a different uh on a on a different
Length?
wavelength
Wavelength? Yeah.
compared to the other players.
All right.
Yep.
At least from his jungler. His like it's a complete different wavelength at
This
this point.
off-season is going to be fun speculating about these kinds of things. It's going to be so fun.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Enough about we have to move on. Enough about that. All right, well, let's talk about the rest of the teams who didn't make it through. Of course, we have Galatasaray from the Turkish league. Definitely a standout performance, just like Peace. I'd
Bolulu.
have to say, where it really looked good at the start from them. I think Peace was like they ramped up eventually in the end. For Galatasaray, they really
It was
at the
much
start,
more immediate.
Yeah, at the start they really did well. Then started petering off at the end. I'd have to say. So definitely still an impressive performance coming from them. Balulu, as you said, you outlined before in the last episode, unfortunately,
Really?
Slayer, that
Played
he
really
would
well.
be he would be a stand-up performer, and he did definitely play well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think with Galatasaray what went wrong was I feel like some of the solo laners kept playing to how they are, but Mojito fell off.
Mm.
Like
I agree.
Mojito really fell
Mojito,
off.
he started so well and was
No,
Yeah.
linking up so
I
well,
mean, I
and
mean, I mean, not to
the
make a
line was
pun,
so bad.
not to make a pun.
He got
He
drunk.
went to drink a mojito. He literally went to drink a mojito and he disappeared. That's pretty much what happened. I felt like he just lost that that aggressiveness, that agency he was showing in the first day. It just
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
And I felt like, yeah, that's the biggest thing. But they definitely surprised. I was more surprised with how Beyond Gaming played against them, given how Beyond was looking in the group stage. But then we have the Mawani
Hey
situation.
guys, yeah, let's talk about
Before,
Beyond as
bef-
a whole. Let's talk about Beyond as a
yeah,
whole first.
before we talk Mawan Togo, I feel so bad for him. He tried. Well, at least he certainly will be playing for an actual team next year, and
Hopefully.
we will be able to rejoice with his performance. There,
Sorry,
I feel there's
yeah,
no chance that he doesn't get an
yeah.
offer, right? Like if no team offers him, I'm going to be so mad
I
at
mean, I mean,
whoever
I
is
mean, I
managing
mean,
teams.
first of all, in the PCS front, I'm going to be looking forward to whether PSG performs well or not. If not, then I guess we might actually see the permanent substitution of Unified and Doggo.
We might. We'll
That may be
see.
true.
I don't have any
I can
inside
see that coming.
knowledge on the PCS, of course, even though yeah, it is my region, but I don't know too much about it as of yet.
Disappointment.
Disappointment.
Okay, Mr. Latin America.
So we are all
Hey,
disappointed
hey,
at you.
yeah, at least I have an excuse. I'm not from any region, so
Listen,
I don't
man.
have any info.
Listen, man.
I don't have a region. I don't have a region. Stop
Exactly.
already-
me.
See,
I already have enough disappointment in my life. I don't need to look at Liam all the time, okay? Anyway, all right. Back to Beyond Gaming. Now, as a team, they did not play to expectations. Of course, we
Yes.
expected them to
Yes.
play a lot better when it comes to the play-ins, contesting Cloud9 and Detonation focused me for that top spot. Instead, they kind of shot the bed, to put it lightly. Uh, and it was kind of basically Doggo 1v9ing almost every game.
It was Doggo and friends. It was Doggo and
Like,
friends.
the jungler for Beyond
Special-
Gaming, Husha, I think a lot of people expected a lot more coming from him, especially after his performance in playoffs in the PCS, and he did not show up
Yeah.
until kind of later when he kind of did.
And I don't. No, I don't think he showed up. Period.
yeah, I think remember. A quick reminder: there was the tier list from Peter Dunn. If you guys saw it, had Husha really high up. I think it was 20 something. He was on the better junglers in the world, and I didn't see that performance from one of the better junglers in the world. It was
I mean,
really, it felt like he was following a guide to jungling, and that's it. Like that's how it felt watching Husha. Not that it
yeah.
was bad inherently, but I think that's a standard. Like if I see this from an LCS jungler, it's what I expect, not what you should think of the out of the best jungler in the world, and or one of the best junglers in the world. So it wasn't really surprising to me to a certain degree.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I mean,
And
I mean, honestly, yeah. Like, I honestly think Beyond Gaming was very underwhelming.
mhm,
Um,
No
like,
solo laners.
I don't think PK or Liang made a difference.
they did not.
Like,
But
honestly,
one was less than the other, certainly, but
I
no
mean,
difference.
that's fair. But then the Mawan incident.
Before
Yeah.
Mawan,
What the hell?
I want to give credit to Kino because I think Kino at least was a shining part. Like it was Dogo and friends, but at least Kino was one of the better friends. At least,
Yes.
One of the better friends.
Was a good
Yeah.
friend.
Then you
yeah,
have
he was the good friend.
then you
Always
have
there.
friends like Moan. For
Oh
those who
god.
don't know, there's a bit of a controversy regarding Moan. By a bit, I mean that
Yeah, a
got
bit.
banned from Worlds
Yes.
And
uh,
probably
by Riot,
more.
and possibly
And probably maybe for life.
yeah, maybe he ruins his entire esports career right now because he leaks strats for the booba. Now, okay, to be fair,
No,
there are
so-
some people who tell me that it's not true.
He
if
leaks.
did do that.
Listen. The best way is to he leaks strats for incentives.
Yeah, for a friend.
For-
That's
No,
I think
there
that's
were
I
the
have so much.
I
I
think
have
that's
so
the-
much points on
Because
this.
incentives.
I think
I
that's the
have
best
so
way.
much
I
points
think that's
on
the
this.
best way we can put it. That he leaks strats for a friend. They said for gambling, I believe, where you can bet on which champions are going to be picked in
We
League of
believe that
Legends,
much more.
and of course, it got leaked, and now Dinter, owner of Beyond Gaming, brought the attention of what happened to Riot, and Riot handed out the competitive punishment. So now, Moan, he wasn't able to play against HLE in Beyond Gaming's best of five. And it became a disaster for the team. Put it
Yep.
lightly. The solo
They
laners
were
got
going to
absolutely
lose, but
spanked.
still. Like they were going to lose, but still.
Yeah, but the
As
loss
a
is more
compet
bitter. It
No,
feels.
yeah,
Uh,
but the thing is, as a competitive enthusiast, it feels like it feels worse because I once tidbit about me. I wanted to be a professional player, not only not league but professional soccer player or
okay.
football player.
Mm.
So
Oh,
for competitive minded people, it feels even worse selling yourself out like this for your career. Like I can understand when you need money or things like that, but it's just not thinking in the long run what you can achieve, and it just feels so bad to see players sell themselves out for
yeah.
momentary gain instead of thinking about what they can achieve as a competitor.
Yes.
That's
And
true.
Yes.
it just kind of feel bad for me, like not feel bad in the sense that poor guy, much more so for I feel bad because why are people so stupid sometimes?
Yeah, I mean
And it's just that kind of sad feeling.
it's not just Moan that suffered, right? The rest of his team
Yeah,
suffered, of
Yeah.
course.
exactly.
A
It,
lot of people
like
around him would suffer. PCS
like,
as a region would suffer, of
yeah,
course,
Yes.
and
because
I've
of
heard
this.
there's been cases before where it's actually the staff that it's involved in the betting and things like that. I remember PCS has had teams with things like that, as well as in China where the staff are the ones that have the problems with betting and the like. And at least in there, I can see, okay, it's a staff, it's not the players. They fucked over the players, but at least the players will have a second chance because they weren't involved. But in
Yeah.
this situation, where one of the players was, and I remember there was a little thing about this. They said that there were even other players involved,
Yes.
and if that's the case, it's even worse. Like I really hope that there's no other players involved. But for as much as we talk
Yeah.
about Dogo, there could be a chance where Dogo actually is involved, even if we don't know about this
Yeah,
yet.
something I didn't want to think about honestly if
and,
Dogo was
and yeah,
involved,
and
but
and that's way worse. Like Maoan, I hate that Maoan fucked himself over like that, but it's worse when a player like Dogo fucks himself over like that because he has a much brighter future, a much brighter chance to play with the greatest players. And if he fucks himself over because of this, it's way worse. And that's things that I hope that it's not like that, but it
I,
I
just
mean,
hurts much
yeah.
more.
I mean, honestly, with this incident, there's three things that comes to my mind. Number one, Mawan, man, what are you doing?
Of course,
Seriously? No, I mean,
seriously, of course.
seriously. Seriously. Yeah, okay, so you give your league strats to a friend. I say this in a different manner, and then and
Sure.
then and then strategies didn't work. The strategy wasn't true, and the friend leaked you. So yeah, that's what happened, my friend. So yeah, and you got and at the same time, yeah, like yeah, that was just a bad look, and the fact that yeah, he got catfish too. I mean, I think
I
everyone knows
will
what catfishing means.
I wanna input that it's not confirmed whether he got catfish or not, since there are some people that I know have told me that it's a false thing, that it was just actually a friend who asked him for.
Maybe.
So I'm not sure. They say that the imagery that's been going around Twitter is fake. So we still don't know whether that's the case. All we know is that Moan did leak scratch. It was confirmed that he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that
Second thing,
the reason why we're not sure yet, but
yeah,
we know he leaked it.
yeah. Second thing is that so so this generally means that if he's actually messaging his friend about league strats and what to bet on, that this are going to be probably picked. That means they were doing their all their plan. They were all doing their drafts pre-game. This is literally before he picked up a phone and he started messaging someone.
Hmm.
Yep.
So that's like so that's a big indictment on the coaching staff as well. And the
Yep.
third thing, Riot's about to come down with a hammer.
I
This is
mean,
this is becoming a rampant issue. Like And as TDS mentioned, it's just not a one-off thing that it happened at Worlds. It's been happening in China. It's been happening in the PCS.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
just in case, just a quick name, Bow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like we're we're having a situation. I mean, these are different incidents because one was match fixing, one was a league strat for betting. Like two different stuff altogether. But even then, I think Riot's gonna come down hard on
Yeah,
this because I I think they I think this is the opportunity for them to really come down hard and say, yeah, this guy
I
did it.
honestly hope they do.
We I'm sorry to say this, he had a bright future, but we ban him for life. And then
Uh,
all of a sudden,
I agree.
everyone falls in line. Everyone falls in line.
basically, right? You think Riot will give Moan the I buy power treatment that Valve did?
I
No, it's
hope they do.
no because
It's a
I
hope.
actually no, it's more like I hope they don't because
Okay.
because because it's hard to see a player being banned for permaban for this.
Especially a young player. This just 2 years into his
Yeah,
career.
yeah, but the thing is, when you're in these situations as the authority, you need to set the tone.
Yeah.
Like you need to make sure when I punish this person, the next time anyone thinks about doing this is going to think twice.
Yeah, and
and
that's why I think
and
they should
that's
do it.
that's what I think, because I think if they ban him for extended period of time, I think he's done. uh I don't think he comes back because he gets blacklisted instantly, but the fact is, if he does get banned heavily and punished heavily, we see the situation where other players will be like, no, I can't do this anymore.
I
Yeah.
wanna
Now,
Slayer TDS. I wanna say that Riot will do that. Unfortunately, Riot
I
does not
hope they
have the
do, but
best track record when it comes to handing out
yeah,
punishments
that is
like
true.
this.
But I hope
I
they
will have
do.
to say.
What I think they should do to because I think that I hope that he doesn't get a second chance in league.
Yeah.
Not because he should get super punished or anything like that, but because like you're saying, it needs to be shown that there are consequences for your actions, and you need to think because yes, he's young, but a person with 17 years old shouldn't be this dumb. Like it's just the thing. Like you still need to think about your actions. It's not fine to just think no, because he's young he should be lesser punished. I don't think so. I think that he should be punished because he took that decision. It wasn't someone that made him do it,
Yes.
so he should be punished. But what I would do is ban him on league for life, and on Riot Games, I think a 2 year ban on other Riot Games, and then he can try and go another Riot game after that. But
I,
on League,
I,
no.
I
It's what
mean,
I
no.
would think.
I mean, actually think his ban should be strictly esports.
On esports.
I don't think they should ban him on the game because there's no need to.
No.
He
As
can,
in, just yeah. Not from League of Legends, the game, probably.
it's just
Just as a player.
just ban him as a professional player.
I,
I
I,
think
I don't I think they should just ban him from League, not from as a professional player, because I still think that you can still make mistakes, like and nobody's perfect. So I think that you should at least give him a second chance. He should have a second chance to show that he improved from that. Because I don't think it's bad, and I hate that you do it, but I also think that you can change. So I think that banning him from League is okay, and I think that if he wants to try in a second chance in Valorant, that it's a booming game, in Wild Rift, that it's similar to League, I think you should give him that second chance after a certain period of time. It's
uh,
what I believe.
no. I think let's give it, like, he should be in the game. That should be it. But his professional career in League of Legends is kind of over. That's
Yeah.
that's that I think that's the just punishment here, because I feel like anything beyond that is just criminal. And the other thing about your point, Miles, right? We all talk about, like, Riot's track record. Riot does have a new direct head of esports, LoL esports. So
Yeah, they
yeah.
just hired someone. I
No,
remember.
they didn't hire someone. They promoted someone.
Yeah. They
And it was
if I'm not wrong, it was one of their Like I remember that it's
It
a
was the
female,
head of PR.
but
It was the
I
head
don't
of
remember who
PR.
it was.
It
Yeah,
was the head of PR.
Well,
I saw it, but
hopefully,
I don't remember the name.
hopefully that
Hopefully it's better.
ends up better for the ecosystem than if Riot has
Let's hope
that.
so.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah. I'm still not completely putting my faith because it's still a bad track record that Riot has. Just because they promoted someone to do these kinds of thing doesn't mean
The
that
only
it
way
will
it's
pan
up,
out
right?
super well. But at least it means they're kind of paying attention to it. So
Yeah.
that's still good. Now I guess moving on from Beyond Gaming, since we uh, kind of have to commemorate them. Unfortunately, Doggo and Friends not gonna make it through. Last one, of course, old favorite of the international stage. It's gonna be Unicorns of Love, who they've kind of been
There's not
looking
much to talk
worse.
about them. There's
They've
not
kind
much
of,
to talk about them.
I kind of want to say they've kind of been looking worse and worse in international
Yes.
play as
Yes.
the
Yes.
months go
Yes.
by.
I think it probably
Unfortunately,
has to do with the region as a whole.
Yeah.
It feels like I remember there were talks about Russia ceasing production or ceasing to a certain degree their league, or was it Turkey? It was one of the two. So I just feel like it's just a
I think
decline normal
Turkey's
with the
fine.
region.
I think Turkey's fine.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably one of the declines that is normal with the region. I think that Russia doesn't have what other regions or what other places in Europe have in comparison. Like I remember someone saying that realistically, what incentive is there to a player? I normally you player, not only a Russian player but an EU West player to try and play on Russia or Turkey when the EU ecosystem has improved so much. So it kind of doomed on the region on the other regions as well because Russia's population wasn't that high, even though they are really big. It wasn't that high as a whole,
hmm.
and the teams have been kind of stagnating in terms of gameplay and in terms of players. So it just kind of feels like a natural curse, unless something really big happens. And if I'm not wrong, unless one of the other games die out, that one of the other
yeah, unless
big games
Dota or
die out in Russia,
CS:GO
exactly,
just
unless
like
one of
die
those
out.
two died, which I don't think it will, because by the way, I've been watching international. It's been amazing so far.
Let's go
Unless
OG.
one of those unless one of those games die, there's no chance that I think League will become booming again, unless there's heavy investment from Riot, which I don't think will happen either.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have more faith in Valorant succeeding in Russia,
Yeah,
honestly, because
I
of
think
the
I think
CS
it's better
culture
chance.
there. I think that's a better chance than League right now, where I mean, we'll see in the future. That's still a thing. But Unicorns of Love, unfortunately,
Yeah, I've seen some reasonably good like teams stepping up in the CIS other than UL,
hmm
but it's like UL's foothold in that region is so big, like because
Yeah,
they have the best players. It's it's like they can just come off it, but there have been teams that have got getting they're getting better. But
I
yeah,
think it's also the name that carries them up to a certain degree.
yeah yeah, but I actually think yeah, like the CIS will be unfortunately demoted to a tier 4 region as well for the wildcards because yeah you
Welcome to the Latam zone.
yeah
It's
yeah
fun to
yeah
have
Latam.
yeah
someone else
yeah
here.
because the ones who were 4 are now going to go at 3 and the ones who are 3 will go down to 4. That's pretty much
Yeah,
how it's gonna go.
Yeah,
Like yeah, so it's a rotating wheel, guys. So yeah, um but yeah, there's nothing to talk much about for UL because I feel like they've been very underwhelming.
they have been.
they ran their cycle. They ran their course. They were an exciting team the previous years. I don't think they are an exciting team anymore. And hopefully something good changes in CIS. But unless something, like I'm saying, something big happens, I don't expect them to appear once again at least in 2 years. Because
Yeah.
in 2 years, I think that there probably can be a reset in talent in the
hmm
CIS region. But apart from that, I don't expect much.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes in the future. Maybe the team has to kind of explode to, and the players have to go to different teams in order for
Or just
them to
retire.
elevate
I think that
themselves,
that
or
opens up place.
yeah, or retire, and for some new blood, fresh blood to come into
Like
UL. Maybe that would
one one
revitalize them.
one good thing that may come with that is that if players from that region retire and they are not successful enough but
Yeah.
popular enough, they may bring attention back into the region. So, for example, I know that there's a platform kind of similar to Twitch in Russia. I don't remember the name. So,
Yeah.
if there's players that can bring enough popular that
Yeah.
are popular enough and can bring enough attention after they retire into the CIS, that may once again bring a boom into the region. And that's
Yeah.
another hope that you may think. So that's
I
another
mean, I
hope.
mean, I mean, I mean, to be honest, what I can expect from the CIS is that we'll probably see like what happened with the LCO, right? So the ESL kind of steps in and like, yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna do that. It's our job now.
I think
And
that
so
if it becomes an open ecosystem, actually, that may also be much more helpful for the CIS
yeah,
because it's,
Maybe.
if I'm not wrong, it's not only Russia, it's Ukraine and those other
Yeah,
leader
yeah.
countries
It's
around.
all those
So that
countries.
may work better for them. An open ecosystem with those countries may work better for them.
yeah,
Or they may make it. The only problem is it could be like what happened with OCE where they became residents and maybe Russian players become EU West residents, so
But
to
they
speak.
aren't they
yeah. But
already
but that but that
practically?
would kill the CIS, which would be a
I
bigger
think I
problem.
think it's just a visa problem between CIS and the rest of
Okay.
Europe that kind of
Yeah,
holding them
Yeah,
back from doing
realistically,
that.
but realistically, they should be already be a part of
I
EU
mean, they
in
used
a
to be.
way,
They
right?
used to
So
be basically an
used to be
EU LCS, right? We had like Gambit
until
and
the
Moscow
until
5.
yeah until the Russian region until
okay,
like the Russian server basically.
I mean, yeah, and Germany also kind of put a stop to it because I think
Yeah.
Diamond Prox became the quote unquote scapegoat for that, where
Yes.
where Diamond Prox was not able to get a work visa and was not able to play in
Yeah.
rest in
EOLCS.
peace, Diamond Prox. I remember
Yeah,
that. I was
isn't he
rooting for
still
that
playing in
role so
Brazil?
much.
Isn't he still playing in
No, I
Brazil?
think he retired. He retired,
He
if I'm not
retired.
wrong.
Did he? I thought he was
Yeah.
still
Yeah, he
playing.
retired on Gambit.
No, he's still playing. I believe.
No,
What?
I
Diamond.
think he retired on Gambit.
No, he
Really?
didn't.
Wait,
He didn't.
quick
Wait, let
Google
me check.
search. Let's see.
Let me check
Oh
one sec.
Lord.
He's playing for
Restrict.
Diamond.
Furia right now. He's playing for Furia
Oh,
in
in
Brazil.
Latin America. What?
In wait, is it Latin America?
You
Or
don't even
Furia?
know that TDS?
Furia?
no, in CBLOL.
Furia?
He's playing in CBLOL.
Okay,
Furia.
okay, Furia. Yeah, I'm thinking there's a team in Latin America called Furious. So I was thinking, okay, thank God.
No, right
Oh,
now, Diamond Prox is playing
that's
for Furia and CBLOL.
I don't wish that. I don't wish that to my worst enemies. There's no.
Yeah.
Now, I'm being way too flame heavy on Latin. I'm going to try and begin being much more friendly to them so that maybe they can invite me to their casts.
That's what you need, man.
All right. I
I
mean,
need much
we'll
more
hope for
pride
that,
in my
TDS.
region.
We'll see you on the live Riot broadcast very soon, hopefully. But all right, guys, we're gonna move on to groups in a bit. Now it's been 1 hour and 30 minutes, so I guess we don't have to breeze through it too much. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. You guys are gonna tell me your pick'ems for each group, then justify it. All right.
Ooh,
Now,
Hey,
now I'll give you
let's do
guys
this.
10 minutes for
I
each
told.
group, I guess, for both of
Okay,
you. No, not both
okay.
of you each, but I'll give you in a total. We'll have 10 minutes to discuss each group and all of our quote unquote pick'ems. All right. So Group A, guys.
10
The groups are already
minutes.
confirmed. So we have wait 1 second, just to make sure. All right. So we have Dam One, Kia, Fun Plus Phoenix, Rogue, and C9. Now, all right. I'm gonna start with TDS. Who do you have
Ooh.
winning? And who do you have getting out of the group, rather?
Getting out DKFPX
Who do you
in
have
that
first
order.
and second?
In
Ah,
that order.
okay.
DKFPX. Yeah.
Uh,
And I come back to my reasoning for that. I come back to what I said in the first episode that isn't out. Uh, I think Showmaker is the best mid laner in the world, and I think he and Canyon will be able to carry that one out of this group. Even if the other three players don't show up, which I expect them to kind of appear a little bit, not that hard, but a little bit, and the Showmaker and Canyon should be able to carry them out of this group.
okay. Slayer. Who did you get? Who do you have?
It's the same for me. DK first, FPX second, but
Ooh,
it's a similar reason. It's a similar reason to TDS, except I don't think Showmaker is the best mid lane in the world, but I think Showmaker and Canyon are the best mid jungle duo in the world
I
because
100% agree with that as well.
they
I
are,
100% agree. Yep.
and they'll completely stomp on like pretty much. Like they're very dominant and combined with Khan in the top lane, who's been in excellent form.
Oh no.
Oh no, my mic's gonna.
This
Oh
might
yeah,
this is my internet problem again. But go ahead, Slayer. You keep talking.
yeah. My point is that yeah. My
Yeah, we lost him for a
No.
bit. Anyway,
oh sorry
just
sorry sorry
The
sorry.
just fix
pings.
your webcam first.
Okay,
It's fine.
okay.
Okay.
No. My point is that yeah, it's like you can't go wrong with expecting that DK is gonna be top because you expect this to happen, right?
Because of their team, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, so pretty much that's what I think. Like yeah, DK is the best team in the like DK is probably overall the team with the best identity so far because they know what they have to play around. They have to play around their top side, and they have to leave their bot side on an
Like,
island, which
funnily
is
enough, I
which is
think.
probably my only concern, by the way. Which is my only
Yeah,
concern. I feel like that might be their undoing.
like the funniest thing for me with that is that I think that the fact that the bot lane is such a huge liability helped Damwon to realize what they need to do, but at the same time, it's so detrimental because if they lose, then it's going to be mostly on the fact that the bot lane cannot do anything. So
Yeah.
it's what is called a two-edged sword, pretty much.
A double-edged
Double-edged
sword.
sword.
Yeah.
A double-edged sword. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
There
mean, I
you go.
mean, also FPX because I just generally think that they're just a really good team. They're just a really strong team. The problem is their inconsistencies in the top lane and the bot lane and the jungle, and like the only consistent one is Doembe.
Yeah.
I think they ramp up the longer the tournament
I
goes.
was
I
gonna go
think
with
that
that point too. Yeah. I was gonna
yeah,
talk about
I
how
mean, I
FPX
mean,
would
the
ramp
thing
up.
is they do ramp up, but we've seen them in the past year or two where they go into important matches and they just
and they
completely
lost.
blow it,
Yeah,
and
they
just
flop.
Yep.
completely blow it.
But they make
Reminder,
it
they were
there.
in two finals and lost both finals. So it's safe to say that
Teams,
that when
two
it matters,
different
they may
teams,
choke
two different
against
teams.
different teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
At least they make it there, So I expect them
yeah.
definitely to come out of this
You
group,
don't want your
obviously.
third and fourth, the
They,
Uh,
they,
spice.
they choked they choked over the chokers. That's
You don't want
that's
your
the
third
most
no,
and
no,
fourth,
important
we're
the
thing
gonna
about
talk
it.
spice.
about third and fourth. Who you got? You got Rogue at fourth, don't you?
I
Slayer.
I
have
have
Rogue at fourth.
seen and broken forth. I have seen and broken forth. I,
Oh
I
my
have
I have
yeah,
Rogue
god.
at fourth.
I do as well, guys.
Oh,
I
E is
mean,
gonna
I
hate
mean,
us.
I mean. Listen.
I have my reasons.
Miles, you're in Manchester with me as well. We have a Rogue super fan there.
Yeah, I know.
She will
Shout
really
out to Zem.
go the like
Okay, I want.
Zem will really root hard for Rogue. She's actually in the copium barrel right now.
She has a
I
truck full
mean,
right now at the
oh
moment as we
my,
speak.
oh my goodness.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
goodness me. No, it's not like she's gonna win. She's trying to cope with the fact that they're not gonna get blasted.
I
I think
She's
mean,
that's
trying.
better copium than any other copium that I've seen.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's just hoping. But I have seen how Rogue plays. I've
And
seen
I'm not
how real
hopeful.
Rogue time is. I've seen how real Rogue time is. Yeah, they're not beating C9.
Unless
No, no,
there's one
no.
good hope
Okay.
for Rogue.
There's an unless. There's an unless. Yes,
There's
I
not a
was.
list.
Yeah, the unless is if Blabber completely shits the bed.
Oh wait, really? Your unless is that? I was thinking the unless bot lane plays like they did, because that's the only strong point for. That's my biggest strong point for Rogue, the bot lane. So if Sinan and if Sven and Volkan play like they did, there's a good chance Hansama can carry.
I mean, yeah.
But apart from that, like I don't see much hope.
I mean, dude, like you gotta feel sad for Larson in this group. He's gonna get, he's gonna get like stomped in every matchup.
against Perks, do you think Larson's gonna lose?
I
Yes.
think Perks is a better mid laner.
Yes.
Nothing against Larsen. Yeah, I think Perks is a better mid.
Listen, I hate to say it, Miles. Have you seen Larson in game in important games? He
Yeah,
will,
that's fine. But to be fair, this is best of ones. This is Rogue's best opportunity.
listen.
It is. But at the
It
same time, I think
might,
Perks
it
has been playing way
might,
better.
yeah, it might be Rogue's best opportunity against teams in EU that don't do well in best of ones, and then all of a sudden
Wait,
you
but
come
actually,
into a, but you come into
finish
a
already.
group, where these teams actually play better in best of ones. I'm barring FPX, but yeah.
All right, here's
NDK.
here's my argument.
Actually,
I actually
DK
have the opposite side for you guys. I have like C9 at fourth place. just because I think one man to man,
I mean, understandable.
besides maybe in the support position, I think
Man to man, it's better Rogue.
Rogue has the better players. One,
Really?
yeah.
Over like, but when you think about it, yes, I think that Odo Abney is better than Fudge. I
I don't
think.
think so.
Oh, wait, you really don't think Odo Abney?
No.
No, for me, I
Wow,
thought
I'm
for me, I
surprised.
think
I
at
think Odo
least
Abney is the best of laner in EU,
for
so
me
I
at
think he's
least if
easily
even
better
if
than Fudge.
Oduamne may not be better than Fudge, he can at least neutralize Fudge a lot to a certain
No, I
extent.
agree with
But
that, but I don't think
Inspired
he's better.
Inspired is better than Blabber.
Inspires better than
Oh,
That
Blabber,
is
of course, of
obvious.
100%,
course.
100%.
I do think Perks is better than Larsen,
Yes.
but
I
I do
don't
think Hans Sama and Trimby are better than Sven and
I
Borg.
don't think Perk.
Uh,
Here's the problem, guys. I don't think Perks has shown that he can be better than Larson so far in
I
this
think I've shown
tournament.
it pretty. Oh,
no,
in
I
this,
think so.
Larsen
Listen,
hasn't shown
Larson's not
anything in
very
this
good.
tournament.
Listen, Larson's not very good, and second, the meta is not very good for him.
Depends if we see, right. There's still the caveat that
If it's
roaming.
lane oriented, I think
Are,
Larsen
are
has a
you
better
going to see
chance.
control mages on Larson?
I mean, they're still gonna go for it regardless.
I
If
mean,
it's
you're going to
lane
see control
oriented,
mages
there's a
in
better
Zen meta?
chance.
Huh?
If it becomes lane oriented, if it becomes like we were talking lane oriented, then Larsen has a better chance.
Larson has never played
But I don't
anything
think.
other. Larson has not played anything other than control mages.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
but that's what I think. I think if it becomes lane oriented, he has a better chance. I still don't think he's better than Perks.
Like, good luck facing Perks as Tryndamere because he's gonna pull it.
Yeah, maybe.
Or Yone, you're gonna pull
Yeah,
it.
we-
and then maybe we'll have some perks.
we-
He'll pull off the perks though. That's the big problem.
Maybe he will press ultimate.
He won't press the R button, then Larson can win.
Oh no!
I love that reaction so much. That was one of the most hilarious moments in this world,
Yeah.
especially the
And I
scene and
actually
coaching
think-
stuff camera.
Oh,
And
yeah.
actually
was so
think
good.
Perks will be more motivated to play against Rogue because it's an EU team. He'll be more motivated
Because they
He's
have
like-
an actual chance, I think.
Yeah, I mean they have an actual chance to be third.
The funniest thing is that I didn't even consider this, but you actually brought a very important point. VK and FPX are not the best BO1 teams. When you think about their scores, they don't win that much.
I
many BO1s,
I
right?
actually think DK is pretty good at BO1s, but I don't
But
think
I
FPX
think
is.
they don't
I
win.
don't
They
think
don't win
FPX
much
is.
first games. But DK doesn't reach that doesn't win that much first games. They
Yeah,
win
yeah.
second and thirds. So I'm kind of thinking now maybe there's a world where that actually impacts. But,
No.
And
but,
also-
but I still believe in. I think DK and FPX should come out on top.
Yeah, no,
There's no chance to think about it.
I
But
definitely
there's
agree.
a world.
I definitely agree that DK and FPX are definitely the favorites to get out of this group. However, I do think that Rogue has the tools to be able to exploit DK and FPX's weaknesses, which is the
What?
bot lane.
Who? How?
The
I-
bot
Listen,
lane.
listen.
Bot
I
lane.
agree
The thing
with.
is-
Listen. I agree with the C9 point. I think C9 can. Rogue cannot because Rogue's best player is Inspired. Imagine Inspired versus Canyon.
Yeah, that's
Okay, yeah,
a
fine.
really
That's
important
a
problem.
that's a good point. But
And the thing with Rogue is that if they can exploit bot lane over the other two teams exploiting topside, how hard can they do it in comparison? I don't think it's hard enough.
yeah, that's fair.
I
that's
mean,
fair.
the thing is, listen. You can do everything you can do to Ghost, but Barrel's not gonna be in lane.
Yep.
That's true. That's
Like
true.
What's the point
good
of
thing is
dominating?
Ezreal became a meta champion, or Ezreal is a meta champion. You can just put Burial on a Ghost on Ezreal, and even not only Ezreal, Senna is becoming a champion as well. You can just put Ghost on Senna Ezreal duty, and leave the rest of the map for them to do whatever they want. And Ghost just needs to be a better support than the enemy support, pretty much, and that's it.
That's the point. Like, we're saying that, but then again, LWX in FPX has one of the lowest resources put into him, and he still plays
Yep.
decent. So my point is,
He does
yeah,
stupidly, but he's not a huge. He's not that big of a liability like some people
I
think
mean,
he would
I
be.
have two finals
Dude.
to tell you
Most of the time.
otherwise. TDS. I have two
No,
finals
he's
matches to tell
he's a
you
liability. Don't
otherwise.
get me wrong,
Oh,
but you
it's
need to
gone
be a
again.
really good team to actually to make full use out of the liability that is LWX. Like it's like because in reality, yes, it took to the finals, and I agree, FPX choked, but it took to the finals. Like it still
Yeah,
took
that's
a
fair,
long
that's
time
fair.
for teams to actually take advantage, and it had to be the best bot lane in the world to do it.
That's
So-
fair. That's fair.
So that's why I'm not. I don't think Rogue would be the team to certainly do it against FPX, and I don't think Rogue will do it against DK because DK has the best mid lane jungle duo in the world. Like they
Yeah,
can take over game. They can save games alone. That's how
yeah,
good they are.
yeah.
That's fair. I mean,
So yeah, the
I
group A is over.
I'm obviously saying that DK and FPX. I'm just saying that there's a very small possibility maybe Rogue can do something. I
But
still have
I
them
will
finishing
say
over
this.
C9
But
though.
I will say this. None of these teams, like neither FPX or DK are going 6 and
Yeah, I think they
It's
are
just
really volatile. They
it's not.
can go
Yeah,
off
DK
games.
is not as perfect as they were last year.
yeah.
I
Just to
think
put it
DK and
that way.
FPX shares games between them. I think one wins one and the other wins one, and I think C9 will take a game out of FPX, and that's why they end up second.
All
Could
right,
happen.
we'll see if it
Could happen.
happens. We'll see if it happens. All right, that's Group A. Going to Group B. Who do you have, Slayer?
Group B, it's really tough for me honestly because I actually think EDG is number one,
Yeah.
but number two is where I really have like I'll just go through it. Like first, I believe it'll be EDG, and second, it should be T1 in my
T1.
opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But third will be 100 Thieves. It's going to be very close. Like I actually think this group is very close. Group's going to be very pretty close because I think 100 T has a chance. I think 100 T has a chance
Okay.
to make it because I look at these teams and I'm like T1 while they're individually good players, they're individually very good players. Sometimes they don't function well as a team,
Yeah.
and which is where I feel like 100 Thieves has the edge because while T1 plays more of that traditional Korean style, 100 Thieves is more fast paced because if 100 Thieves wins early game, they're more likely to win the game than not.
Yeah. 100 is one of those teams that can really snowball.
Although
As said
Yeah,
by stats, it is a thing. If there's a lead by
although I
100
think
thieves, they can close out.
yeah, but T1, I kind of not entirely disagree. I think they do play much more or much more Korean normal style, but they are one of the faster teams in Korea. They are
yeah,
one of the most fast paced teams, and they are not shy from taking decisions for better or for worse. That's the case. For better or for worse, they are not shy from taking decisions.
For better or
So
for worse.
they are one of the teams. I, I,
Yeah, I
I
know how
as
you
a
feel,
T1 fan, that
TDS.
hurt my yeah. I do for myself for this group. I went much more with my heart,
Did you put
and I
T1
put T1
first?
first.
Oh my gosh,
oh,
I
TDS.
went with my
No
heart.
way.
no!
Get the fuck
I
out of
put
here.
T1 first, and it was with my heart and a little bit of considerations to what I think may happen in this group. And my thing with this group, it's going to revolve around history to a certain degree. EDG, it's not the
No.
best of teams to rely on in groups.
No,
EDG is
no.
not the best of teams to rely on in groups. They have showcased time and time again that they even if they are coming hot, they falter a lot, a lot.
Is the name
Like
cursed or
it's
something?
not new.
Is this just
Like
it?
it's not new, and it's not something that it's just a roster thing. It's happened with multiple rosters, with multiple teams in multiple metas. They just falter when it comes to worlds. So it can happen. And I was saying previously, I hope it doesn't because I want to see a strong EDG being beaten by T1. That's why I
Oh
want, and that's why I
wow.
hope it happens.
TDS
And
is
then
really a
I
now
mean,
my
T1
reasoning
fan.
for T1. Okay, now my reasoning for why I think that for how T1 may end up first, and it may come with a lot of variables. But one of the things that I really like about T1, and I brought it up with the point of TK, is that they win a lot of first games. They are a really good first game team. So BO1 wise, they are not that bad. I think they are, even though they are really volatile, they bring really good things to the first game. So I think that over the course of a BO5, that may be bad for them,
Okay.
maybe be in terms of draft. But BO1 wise, I think that they are much better of a team than DK, and I think
yeah,
that may play into their favor. Like you were saying, I think they have the most, and I think I said this previously in one of the chapters as well, in one of the episodes as well. I think they have the best talent wise roster in the world. I think that they have the most stacked talented roster in the world, and I think that if they play to their highest peak, they can win worlds. And I will die by this hill. I think they can win Worlds if they play to the pick. I don't expect them to play to the pick, but if they don't blow draft out of proportions, and thankfully Renekton is close to death, so that's a good start for T1 already because now they will be forced to actually play something that it's not Renekton and actually have to think. That is a good start. So I think that T1 has, like, meta wise and team wise, I think that things have kind of fallen into position for T1 to be able to actually perform. Now we need to actually see it happen, but I think that T1 has a lot of things going for them.
Okay.
I think that
Miles,
there's a lot
do
of
you
hope.
hear that? Do you hear that truck coming in?
Yeah,
Coming,
I hear the
coming
truck.
back
Yeah,
in
it's
the
backing
No,
up into
I
TDS
don't
house.
have enough money for that. I don't have enough money for that. I just ordered a small package of opium.
ball.
Yeah, I
Sounded
don't
like
have enough money
no,
for
no.
that.
Sounded like you inhaled the whole cylinder before.
No, TDS. I bet
I
T1
will.
is sponsoring you for all the opium you're getting.
Oh
You
my
see,
goodness!
I would do it for free. I don't need a sponsor. I want T1 to win.
I mean,
But
it's
if
not
T1
happening.
wants to sponsor me, though, I am wholeheartedly welcoming T1 to sponsor me.
T1
I
Oh,
am a huge
TDS.
fan of
not
T1.
T1
happening.
TDS. Okay, guys.
That's
All
not
right.
I
happening.
would love to.
I guess my list is a lot more. I place more to expectations. I have EDG
3-4
first.
is more fun.
I have EDG first. I have EDG first. I have T1 second. I have 100 Thieves third, and then DFM fourth. Now, guys, I'm a fan of DFM, of course. I do support
Yeah.
them, but I'm also realistic.
I have
Yeah.
DFM on third, actually.
Oh my
I-
gosh, TDS
What?
World.
I have DFM on third. I think 100 Thieves, and I may get a lot of flack for this,
Someone clip
but I
this.
think 100 Thieves is getting much more value than I think they should get. Not
Oh,
because they are a
no.
bad team, but I think that they showcase so many flaws in summer that even though they won the summer split, I don't think they are the best NA team. I don't think they
I
are
think
even
they
better
are.
than TL. I don't think
No,
they are even better than TL.
I think they're better than
I know
TL.
honestly, I don't think they are even better than TL. I think
No.
that that Closer was a really good jungle in summer, but I want to see him now with Talon, Kiana, and Xinjiao, because I don't think he was that stellar on Xinjiao when it was super
But
meta. I think that
yeah,
he was much better on Viego than on Xinjiao, and Xinjiao wise, I don't
Lee
think he's that
Sin.
great.
He's
Lee
Lee
Sin maybe
Sin.
another thing, but I think that matchup wise, I think most of the players that play Lee Sin in this group well play Xinjiao well. So I don't think that he's going to be able to outplay any of them. So that's my thing. And now going into why I think DFM will win, I think that Arya is way better than Alvedage. I think that Arya will be able to win the mid lane matchup,
Interesting.
and I think that will be able to snowball effectively for DFM.
Gave you that impression.
I think Arya is better than Avedage. I think, and I
How?
was one of the people because I think Arya plays better than Avedage. I think that he laning wise he's better. I'm not sure roaming wise. I think they are pretty equal, but I think Arya is better mid laner than Avedage.
How?
And I said that Avedage is one of the reasons why 100 Thieves is better. And I still think that without Avedage they probably don't reach worlds.
Listen,
But Arya is better.
listen,
I will die on this hill as
listen.
well.
In the first match
I
against
still remember.
C9,
Okay.
Perks played better than Arya, and Perks
I-
has not played a single game
I
better than
don't
Abetage
really don't agree
in
with that
NA.
either. I don't agree with that either. I think Perks played well. I don't think he played way better than Arya. I don't think it wasn't that bad.
No. I didn't say way better. I said he was
Okay,
better in the
I
first
don't
matchup.
think I don't think he was better either. I think it was
No.
pretty equal until a
Yeah.
certain point, and then C9 won. But I don't think it was based on the difference between Perks and
The
Arya.
point is, if you're considering equal, Perks has never beaten Abetage in NA.
Yeah, but I don't think
Never.
it's based on mid lane. I think Arya is better than, and I said I think Arya is better than Perks in the group stage. I think Arya was better than Perks. He was the best mid laner in that group, and I think that Arya will outperform Avedage.
I don't like.
I really
There's
think
no
so.
evidence for this. There is no conclusion for this. I honestly think that
I
think
I
you're
think
under.
Arya has been
I
playing.
think you're honestly underselling how solid 100 Thieves are. To be
No,
honest,
I don't think. I think people are overselling how good 100 Thieves are. I think they are a
I
good
love the
team.
clash of opinions.
I think a lot of like the thing is I think NALCS overall is way too overselling, and I don't think 100 Thieves winning NALCS means that they are a better team that they actually are. I just think
No,
that
no,
TL
no,
and C9 performed way worse than they should have.
no. It's like
That's my thing.
yeah, you can say that, but at the same time, they did win, and it's
Yeah,
not
no,
like
and I
and no,
agree.
no,
That's also
no,
why
no,
I brought
and
down
it's not
FPX in
like they
China.
no, and it's not like they won in a close series. They won convincingly.
Yeah, but I still like
It's
they won 3-0.
convincing.
They
Listen,
won 3-0. I don't agree it was convincingly. I think they won 3-0. They won 3-0 well, but I don't think it
convincing.
was as convincing.
That is
Like I
convincing.
think
3
there
is
are,
always convincing.
I don't agree. There's 3-0s that are close. That are realistically close. Like
But
the fact
if
that you win 3-0 doesn't mean that it's close. In football, like you can win 4-0, but if it's 4-0 with
4 is
20
never
shots
close in
on
football.
goal,
4 is
huh?
never close in
No,
football. No
in
one will say
football you can
that.
win 4-0. But if the opponents were hit the bar 20 times, it wasn't as close as
You
the
know,
scoreboard
yeah, yeah,
shows.
but you didn't score. The
Yeah,
point
no, no,
is
no. That's the thing, and they won exactly. Yeah, they won an A, and I said this with FPX. I don't think FPX is the best team in the world because they lost at the most crucial moment. That's why I brought them down. But that's the same reason why I don't think that I can overvalue 100 teams. They won and they are a good team, but I don't think they are the best any team. First of all, I don't think they are that great of a team either. And I think that right now at this point in the meta, where how things are shaping, I'm not sure they will be able to showcase their strengths because I think that there's champions that have been taken out of place for them to be able to play.
I honestly think 100 Thieves is going to be the one NA team that's going to play the best. They're going to
I
be the
don't.
best out of everything else.
I think it's TL. I think TL
No,
will be the
I
ones that play the
think,
best
and
because I think
I
also group plays in their favor.
yeah, I will preface this in when we talk about that group, but I think
Yeah.
TL is the one team that is probably likely to go 0-6.
I
Whoa.
think
Yes,
I will preface that I
in
think they
that
are
group.
going to perform the best just because of the group.
No,
I value the
no,
group much more
I
because of that.
honestly think TL is in the worst group possible given how things have shaped up. They're in the worst possible group.
I think I agree with that, and at the same time I disagree. I think it's worse, but at the same time it's the best group that they could have hoped for in that regard. But
Guys, TDSU cut off and Slayer the feed cut off. Wait. The argument went too far. Wait, everything kind of messing up with right now. I'm not sure why. Hold up. Let me just 1 second, guys. Let me bring these guys back in. Hopefully. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm still here. It's just
TDS, we don't hear you now. I have no idea why.
one sec. I'm gonna restart my OBS Ninja. One sec. I actually think there's a serious problem.
Okay. Guys, can we get out of the room and then go back in?
Okay, one sec.
Check.
Rack?
All right, there we go. I can hear you. Excellent.
Okay, perfect.
After that, I think Discord got tired of your argument. Wait, 1 second.
I was having fun. It was
yeah.
an actual argument.
Yeah. I'm just listening to you guys like.
Yeah. Also, I like I need to be just in case because I heard sometimes I'm way too overboard on something, so I want to be careful about how I say certain things.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just wait for Slayer to come back in.
Yep.
He has to restart OBS Ninja. I think he has to give me a new link too. But yeah, very
Okay,
interesting.
mine is still up.
Yeah, yours is still up. It's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Yours is still up. It's fine. Wait.
Yeah, I love the this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a show because I wanna be able to talk about these kinds of things.
That's fine. Damn. Apparently, you're more on the DFM hype train than I am. I thought.
Yeah,
I
I think the FM are not that bad. I think that
No,
they
I think
can
they're
win
good.
against 100 days.
I think they're good. It should be a I don't know. For me, it would be it would depend
Like
on the day.
I think DFM, like not against T1 or EDG, but I think DFM will win one of the games against 100 Thieves. And the thing is, 100 Thieves needs to cannot they can go 0-6. I think it's going to be no, because if they finish 1-5, yeah, no, I don't think DFM can win two, but I think they can win one.
Only one.
Yeah, I think they can win one. The thing is, I
So one
think
five.
because of tiebreakers, they probably end up third.
Oh,
How,
okay. The NA tiebreaker
like
curse, of course.
yeah, I think if it's on tiebreaker, but I don't know how tiebreakers work for third or fourth place.
I believe that in groups, is head to head starts happening. So
Yes.
if you beat, Slayer, are you back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
All right, I can hear you. Can you? I'm assuming you sent me a new. Okay, one
Yeah.
second. Just gonna get you
Should be
back.
better.
Slayer, your mic again. I think it's your webcam. Sorry for the technical issues, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to have three international people from three different countries.
Yep.
It's hard to put a show. Slayer, you
But
back? You good?
that makes the
Yep.
arguments much fun.
All right, excellent. So the argument was rudely interrupted by the internet, of course, between
Yes.
We
whether
were
100
on.
Thieves is better than DFM or not. Suffice to say,
Yeah.
we will see,
Okay.
of course, in the group stage. I have
Yes.
the reasonings from
Yes.
both
I
of
just
you. I have the reasonings from
I
both of you, of course. TDS, you have one last thing. One last thing to say,
yeah.
TDS, then one last thing for Slayer to say. All right.
It's just to finish. I don't think DFM is a better team than 100 Thieves, but I do think that 100 DFM will perform better than the 100 Thieves. That's what I think, and I think that tiebreaker wise, I think DFM will get on top of them, and that's why I think they will end up third.
Slayer.
I kind of disagree because I think honestly, 100 Thieves will challenge for second spot. I think
Yeah,
people are
I
underrated.
remember you say about that, so it makes
Yeah,
sense.
I think people are underrating how 100 Thieves can win through their mid jungle duo, and I think that is a very important thing considering their jungler is a carry jungler and it is a carry jungle meta at the moment.
Okay, we'll see. You did have
It's going
closer
to
in
be
your
fun.
top five jungler,
Yeah,
Slayer.
Yes,
So
in an episode that wasn't
yes,
up
I do.
in
Yes, I
the
do.
in the lost episode arc.
in the
So
last
Last
episode.
no
episode.
one's ever gonna
Last
see those
episode.
lists, unfortunately. But we will hint
Yeah.
to it. We will allude to it in every episode that we do a Plebcast. But
Last
anyway,
episode.
yeah. Anyway, all right. So we have our opinions there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably still T1 and EDG that's getting out. Third,
Yeah.
fourth, bit of a coin flip.
It's going to be so
I
much
I
fun.
also agree.
This is why I love these words. I think like there's better opportunities for some teams that we actually think they may be,
Yeah, true.
and other teams that like, for example, even though I think that the best teams in the world are TK, FPX, and EDG,
Mm-hmm.
it always happens that one of those three may not appear. So
Yeah.
it will always be. It's always fun to see what happens in words.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey.
All right, guys. Group C. Royal Never Give Up, Fnatic, PSG Talon, Hammer Life. All right.
Is this the closest,
I
or
think
is D the
I think
closest
Group
group?
D was the closest.
Act-
I think Group D is the closest for me.
I think this is the closest.
It is okay.
Yeah,
Slayer.
I think C
Yeah.
may be the closest.
Slayer. All right. Wow, both of you are in agreement. Holy shit! All right. All right. Wait. All right. So let's start with you, Slayer. Who you got first and second?
So as I said, I actually think this is going to be really close, and and the top team in this group will actually be 4-2, in my
Okay,
opinion.
ooh. So tiebreaker
So-
decider.
I think it might come down to tiebreakers, or it might just be because all of the teams kind of cannibalize each other in this
Okay.
group. So it's basically, for me at least, it'll be RNG at top, Hanwha Life at second, then Fnatic, then PSG.
Okay.
Because I think every single one of these teams are capable of winning at least 2 or 3 games. And the question is, on a given day, like who wins what? But yeah, this is a group that's going to cannibalize each other, and yeah, like RNG should be favorites. And I still think in my opinion they are favorites.
I agree.
Is just more like what kind of Hanwha Life are you going to see, and
Yeah.
with whether Fnatic actually has a plan to beat someone like RNG, because because I feel like a lot of people have been giving Fnatic like like they've been disregarding the fact that how good Fnatic's bot lane has been, and if it comes to a situation where Fnatic does stomp like one of the bot lanes, like yeah, Fnatic could make
which
this
they
group
have.
very interesting.
Yeah,
These
they
are
have a
some
complete chance of doing that.
these are some very interesting bot lanes you have, right? I mean, we have Upset Hillsong, Gala and Ming. We have Unified and Kai
And Jeff
Wing, and
Besta.
then of course
Vista.
Deft and Vista. So a bunch of interesting bot lanes for sure. And
It's
TDS,
going to
who
be
do
so
you got?
fun.
I gotta ask.
It's super surprising because I have the same as Slayer. I think the same. I think
Oh
RNG
my
is it's
gosh.
first. I think RNG is first. I think Whole Life is second, and I think Fnatic is third.
Apparently, Group
I
C is
think
gonna
I
be short
think
compared to Group B. The discussion on Group C is gonna be short compared to
like
Group B.
because the thing is because it's so competitive. I think
Yeah.
we can both agree that any given day will change things up.
I mean, I
And
mean, I mean, I think I'm very, like, I'm very undecided on this because
yeah,
this is this is the one group I'm conflicted with. This is
I have a
one
problem
of the
with
group.
I have group C and D as kind of a problem for me both. And in C, the thing for me that
The,
I
yeah,
have to think about it's how much chaos can Fnatic create in my
yeah,
mind. Because
yeah,
I think that RNG and Hanwha Live, they Hanwha Live particularly have showcased better things later on that made me at least have much more hope for them and think that they can showcase things. And like you're saying, I think Chobi is probably the best mid laner in this group. I think it's much obvious. So I
Yeah.
think that if he appears, he probably can carry Hanwha Life through a couple of these games, and then he can put them in second. The thing is, Fnatic, one of the
yeah,
trait characteristics for them, one of the main traits from them, is the fact that they were able to destroy the expectations of certain places in the map while they were
yeah,
playing. Apart from being
yes,
they having a great bot lane, they kind of broke a couple of places in some
yeah,
teams. For example, again, if I'm not wrong, against G2, they were able to dissuade the mid lane matchup because it was much more favoring to Caps. But I think that they did a great job into making it so that it didn't matter, and that
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
allowed them to be able to win. So
yeah,
I'm thinking that how much chaos can Fnatic bring? Not on the first day because I think Fnatic has one of the worst first day records in
yes,
all of groups. But on the second day, if they can make their playstyle impactful, they can easily. I can even see them topping the group.
yeah,
I'd have to say the caveat is Reckless has always been with Fnatic every time they have do badly in groups on the first day. Maybe this time
Yeah, that
there's
is true.
gonna maybe this time it
So
does they Fnatic actually have a good start.
yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
may change, or
yeah,
have or have a worse second day and fail miserably.
yes,
To the
That
Reckless
is
fans
also a
out there, I'm not
possibility.
saying he's a bad player, alright? I'm just saying there's a pattern here.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying
Go
he
on,
is.
Miles.
I'm saying he is.
Alright, TDS.
No,
You
no,
want the
no, no, no,
Reckless
no, no,
haters?
no, no, no.
I'm fine with not having them in my life.
I just need. I just want attention, man. Okay.
This guy is a contrarian, except for Group C. Apparently, has the same exact thing as TDS. Now, for me, I
think it's
actually
so fun
do
this
have
group.
Fnatic second. I have PSG Talon third because I have a truckload of hopium for the
What?
PCS
Okay.
next to
What?
me. And I have Annual Life
Okay.
last.
Dude, okay, okay. I'm sorry, Miles,
All
but
right. To
that
be
take
fair,
is what.
Slayer. All
I'm
right,
sorry, but that take, yeah.
Slayer. I did
Go on.
not think about this group that much. I didn't put too much thought into it because I was like, all right, since this is a coin flip
RNG.
group, I'm just gonna coin flip. I'm just gonna coin flip the placings.
Oh my god, this is worse than
I-
TDS's T1 take.
All right. I don't really have a defense
Eh,
for Hanwha
at,
Life
le-
being last
at
place,
least C1
actually.
has hope. At least C1 has the players.
I actually don't have much of a defense for Hanwha Life being last place. I just basing it on gut feel, which, as a PvP caster, I can definitely do that. Don't worry about analysis, boys. I'm just hyping things
I
up.
did mine with T1 as well, like that, so it's okay. Like,
Oh god.
you
Well,
need hope in
where
your
am
heart.
I?
You need
Someone
hope in
help
your heart.
me! Someone
I
help
got
me.
wait.
I'm always a hoper. I'm always a believer. I believe
All
in
right,
T1 to a
all
certain
right,
degree.
so yeah, that's my group. That's some good copium.
Uh,
Okay.
I really, I kind of want to like if it ends up turning out like God forbid it that Miles is right at the end. It's going to be so fun,
Yeah,
so funny. Like I hope it's not the case because I want How Life to get out,
yeah.
but
all right,
Yeah.
it's
all
going to be
right,
so funny.
all right, guys. Yeah, I'm life getting out. basically DRX from last year. But anyway, all right, enough about Group C. I think our discussion was short there. You guys basically have the same
Yeah.
thing. I have full on copium on Group C. I don't know what I'm really
Yeah.
thinking about that group
Group D is super
besides the
spicy
coin
though.
flips all the time. All I'm
I
sure
think
of is
Group D was the second easiest for me. I think it was very easy.
I just
Okay.
one last thing to say
So-
for Group C. The only thing I'm sure of is RNG. The rest I coin flipped it. Literally.
Fair enough.
I can live with that. I can live with that. It's fine.
All right.
enough.
I can live with that.
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's go with Group D. Who do you guys got for first and second?
Mad at last.
Oh right, yeah. This. I remember you talking about this last time.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just joking. I changed things up with this one after watching a little bit more of LNG and how the group ended up. So
Okay.
No, I honestly think like after like TDS after watching the play-ins, after watching LNG, I went like, yeah, I think Mads won in this group. Mads
yeah,
won in this group.
I got like LNG. I was much more hopeful with LNG to a certain degree, but I think that it's not that they are inherently bad. I think that
yeah.
I
Go
think that they still have their strengths in terms of team fighting and the like, and I think that that's good. But I don't think they are better than Mad in any way. That's
Yeah.
kind of thing. I just think they have they have the better jungler, and even then I don't think they have much.
Yeah, but,
That's
but
it.
I actually think the difference between Mad and LNG for me, like if anyone didn't catch on yet, yeah, my one is Mad and two is LNG. I think the real difference between Mad and LNG for me at least was that when I look at this team, it's like LNG has a great early game. LNG's top side is better than Matt's top side. No debates about it.
Yeah.
And then you have every other where you can say, yeah, Humanoid and Icon, I would edge Humanoid a bit because I feel like
think it's much higher.
Humanoid is.
I think
No,
you give
I
Humanoid
mean,
more credit than that one.
Yeah, I think Humano.
no,
I think Humanoid's
I
better.
don't want to do that because I felt like Icon played well in play-ins, so like it's like recency. So I
Yeah, I
accounted
can
recency for
disagree
this.
with that.
So yeah. So I still think Humanoid is better than
Better.
Icon, but it's not a lot. And then by watching the play-ins, I'm like, yeah, Karzian Kaiser is probably better than like Light and Iwandi right now.
Yeah,
And
100%.
then I think the biggest thing that separates them is the fact that Matt's mid game is probably the best out of anyone in this group. I don't think
Yes.
anyone in this group can match Matt's mid game. It's like Matt has this uncanny mid game that you can like. It's like like I was watching the an episode of like I think you guys know about the Dive and Euphoria, right?
Yeah.
They did
Yep.
a episode for the Dive-phoria. Yes, the Dive-phoria. They combined
Wait,
this
GOE.
stuff
did
because
they just release it?
yeah,
Yeah,
they released it. They released it like 2 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
I'm gonna watch it later then. All right. Thank you.
It's basically you know, and Kobe was saying this there. Shout out to Kobe. Kobe was saying this
We
there
love you,
every
Kobe.
time when he went back and watched Matt, it's like every single time, and he's like, I know this is going to happen, but every single time I look at the goal deficit, it's like 5,000, and I'm like, when's Matt gonna come back? He basically said this, and it's like,
wow, how true.
it's this feeling that you get when you watch Mad. It's like, oh, they're behind in gold. When are they coming back?
It's due
like-
to light.
It's very much like, you know, you expect this from these top teams that they always do this, and Mad has this in them.
It has the quality.
Mad has
right?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a quality you cannot teach.
It's an
You cannot
untangible.
do anything. It's like you have this, yeah, like, and it's very unexplainable. But Matt does this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Matt
it's-
is
How I describe it with these teams or with that thing, it's kind of it's the unofficial rule to telling that a team is it's great, because you cannot, like you're saying, it's hard to explain and it's hard to show, but when you look at a team you can pretty much know it,
yes.
and that's how great teams are known to be great teams.
Yeah.
Because you realize these kinds of things,
I will dub
even
it.
if you don't tell someone that.
I will dub it the anime protagonist syndrome, where everything
call it
looks
the
so
TDS.
bleak. Everything looks so bleak.
Yes.
The darkness is coming, and then the hero just looks inside him and pulls out the most contrived bullshit and actually beats the villain.
You mean the best power ever?
It's the best.
I
It's
mean, I
called
mean,
plot
I mean,
armor,
I mean,
boys.
It's called
I mean,
greatest feeling
I mean,
ever.
the interesting bit is that hero is usually humanoid.
Yeah, that's.
He does have
And
the
hero
name
is
of a
usually
superhero at least,
humanoid.
so
I mean, he just comes out and he's like, "Wait, how is humanoid carrying this game? What the hell's going on?" That's pretty much what the reactions are.
Yeah, and
yeah, pretty much.
one thing I will note about Mad, you talk about how their mid game's better than everyone else. Man, their team fighting, in general,
It's so good.
is just so good. Like I said before, that innate ability to team fight is something that's so important in League of Legends because you can't
Yeah.
practice it. There's no way
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
practice real team fighting in League of Legends where you can set up the proper conditions in
Yeah.
order to do it
And
in
based
practice.
and based
Though.
on people based on people talking about scrims, it's probably not even you can never learn it in scrims because scrims apparently end way before anything like that
No,
happens.
scrims end
So
very early,
yeah,
and so you
exactly.
can't learn it, you can't teach it,
You
and
have to
so
be
they
good at
have
that.
this. I mean, Max said it after they won summer playoffs. He basically said, "We are probably the most LPL team outside of LPL." And it's outside of China. It's like, yeah, you
Yeah.
are. Yeah, because that's what you look like. Like you can't teach this to teams, and yet they're pulling it off every single time. Yeah, and you know there's the famous quote of Armored 06 on Gangplank is still useful. I'm like, how? How's that
The
possible?
6-0,
Yeah, it's
the
like
0
Mad.
6 GP.
They can assess a situation in game even when they're down so badly and know exactly what they need to pull it off in order to stabilize
Yeah.
and come back. And somehow, even at the 10,000 gold, they're as dangerous as when the gold is even. At
Yep.
10,000 gold deficit, they're as dangerous as when the gold is even. I think that's
I
that's
mean,
just
Uh, yeah,
absolute.
yeah. I think when we were doing an episode for the LEC playoffs, we were talking about how mad all the time they win games when they're ahead, and I asked for a stat if we have it that how many times Mad has won when they were behind in goal after 20 minutes. If I could find that stat, I think it'd be around 80% because
Wow.
that's how good they are.
I wish
Yeah,
you could find a
that's
stat
those
just
can
to
be possibles.
officialize it. I don't think there's
I
it's
mean,
on goal. I don't think it's on
I,
goal.gg.
I don't think that stat is available anywhere, but if there's a stat for this, I think Mad's one would be pretty high.
I think
I,
probably
would-
Riot has it.
Or
I mean, Riot probably has it, but
Yeah.
the point is,
we
if
can probably do it ourselves. You know, we can just go through
yeah,
all of
we go
LEC
through
this year.
each and every game and see how often that
We
does
just have to
happen.
pause the game at where they're behind at 15 minutes and see whether
Yeah.
they won the
Yeah.
game. But all right, yeah. So basically,
Uh.
do you all have Mad winning the group?
yep. I have a list.
For me, after play-ins, I'm kind of flipped between Genji and LNG at this point. No, not flip,
Yeah.
more
What do you
on the fence. What do you guys think?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I put Genji first. No. I'm
Wait,
just joking.
what?
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I put Matt first. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm
I mean,
I'm just,
Genji's
just wanted to
consistent.
get on
I'll
the-
give
I
you
mean-
that. Genji's consistent.
I mean, I mean the thing is,
my
even though Genji is there, even though LNG didn't play as good as I thought they would,
they should still be
they're
better
still
than Genji.
second. They're still second.
They
I
should
still-
be
Because
better
I
than Genji.
I did
and
put
it's not
second.
because and I don't think per se they are the best. I don't think LNG is a better team than Genji per se. It's more like Genji cannot match what Mad and LNG are going to do.
Yeah, that is a pretty
Because
important problem.
I mean,
I agree with that.
I'll refer someone else right now regarding Mad and LNG, and it's Dom. I will dominate.
Okay,
Shout out to him. So
I don't know why
he
you
also
say
talked.
dumb
Yeah,
for some reason.
I
I
said
thought you
Dom.
said someone
I
dumb.
said
Yeah, no,
no,
but
no, no, no.
I thought
No,
you
no, I
said
said
someone
Dom.
dumb, and I was
Someone
like,
dumb.
what? That's
Dom,
what you said. No,
listen,
don't
Dom
worry.
is great.
I
Listen,
love,
Dom
no, I
is
love
great.
watching Dom's content as well. I just thought like because you said someone dumb, I just thought did he say someone dumb for some reason? And I got confused, but yeah, no, I love Dom's content as well. He's really great.
Yeah, but Dom talked about Mad and LNG, and his read on Mad is that Mad and LNG are both very aggressive early game. They're
Yeah.
very aggressive.
Yeah.
And then you have this Genji who's not. And they've always had a problem with teams that are aggressive from the get-go.
Yes.
AKA DK.
Even
So
T1
yeah,
they showcased that. this
yeah.
this late this summer split against T1 when they were super aggressive, they couldn't answer correctly, and it showed on them. And I agree. I think that it should be Mod first. Like LNG, I was trying to be a little bit more hopeful with Gen G and other teams in this group, not only because of I myself being a fanboy of LCK and everything like that, but because I wanted to first see how the meta in planes was going to be, try and get a better read on how teams go. But it still doesn't help in any way, Genji. Like their best
Yep.
player is still Ruler, and their best win condition it's Botlane still. And there's no the only way that I can see them winning is if they get consistently Nami Lucian and they destroy every bot lane in this group.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see Genji winning, and it's not consistent enough. Because when Ruler carries just one game with Lucian, it's going to get permanently banned against him. I don't even think he will get a game of Lucian in this group. He
No,
shouldn't get.
but no,
So
but I
it's
honestly think, tomorrow's Genji versus LNG should tell us everything.
yeah.
Honestly, that should tell us
If
pretty much
Genji
everything.
wins, if Genji wins, I
Yeah,
think that Genji gets out.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how telling it can be.
And the interesting thing is that Gen and an LCK team has never failed to not qualify for knockouts.
Yeah,
It's like you
it's
have that
it's a stat.
around them.
This
So
is
It,
this is
it's
after
like
2014, guys. Let's
no,
not
no,
talk
no.
about
It's an
2013.
no, no, no. There, even after that, I think like in all history of LCK, I tried to remember that, and
Samsung Ozone.
I saw that as well. There's two teams in all of LCK history that hasn't gone out of groups.
Yeah.
It's Samsung Ozone and Genji
Genji.
2018.
Yeah, Genji.
Like
After their winning
when you
waves.
consider the amount of teams that have gone through, even when they weren't very, because I remember in 2018, no, I think Griffin had the thing that nobody thought that they were going to get out of groups, or they were thinking that maybe there was no they
Griffin was
because
in
of what happened.
2019. Griffin was in 2019.
Yeah, where
I think you
Griffin
mean
was
Africa.
2019,
I
no,
think you mean Africa
no, no, no. I
2018.
mean, Griffin was 2019. I mean,
Yeah.
like even when the people say that teams from LCK shouldn't be getting out of groups, they end up getting out. So they certainly have to do something. Well, I'm not saying that it's good to utilize history always, but there's a reason why only two LCK teams haven't gone out of groups from the amount of LCK teams that have gone. And most times, it's not even just that they get out at first.
Yeah.
So they must be doing
No,
something well.
yeah, I honestly think, like for me at least, Mad is first, LNG is second, Genji is third, TL is fourth.
Yeah.
And when I said earlier that TL is probably the likeliest team to go 0-6, and it's because of one reason. Because first of all, TL is a very slow team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Mad and LNG already have a leg up on them. And if you're playing slow against Genji, you're giving Genji a chance.
Yeah.
I think you're giving more
So
Genji. You're giving more
That's
than a chance to Genji if you play slow against them.
no, you pretty much give them the
no,
game because
no,
Ruler will
no,
carry, I
because
think.
TL by default plays slow
Yeah.
because they don't play up tempo, and Mad and LNG both play up tempo, while Genji is very good when you play slow. It's like you're in the situation where you possibly are in the worst group,
Mm-hmm.
and you're possibly going to go. You possibly might not win a single game.
Yeah. But I also
Like I mean, even LS today said this. LS said this that yeah, that's the one team that's gonna go 0-6. That's it.
I think I do agree with the fact that it probably can be TL the most safest option to go to six. But at the same time, you said it's the worst group. I agree, but at the same time, I disagree. I think that this is also the group that TL can probably shine more to a certain degree, not because they are aggressive or anything like that, but I do think that they can answer a couple of things that some other teams have. So it's not as I don't think it's as bad as it could have been, but it
It's
is
not as
bad.
bad.
Yeah,
But it is bad.
it is bad exactly.
You bring the point, right? You bring the point that yeah, they can answer. Like for example, they have the best top laner, and they
The
probably
second,
have one of the top two top
I
two
think it's the
top
second.
laners in this group.
Yeah.
I honestly think Ale and Alfari is kind of comparable.
Mm.
They
Okay,
are
I think
comparable.
Ale is probably better, but I do
No,
think
no,
that it's closer than it
No,
is.
Ale is definitely more of a bigger carry than Alfari is. But I
I do
think
think it's closer.
Alfari,
Yeah,
yeah,
can be
but it's
close.
very, but it's close. So I feel like yeah, you can say that, and but the thing is, what I'm saying is that I am a huge Core JJ fan. But if you're gonna play Kaiser, if you're fighting against, let's say in the first match against Kaiser, yeah, that's an uphill battle. If you
Yeah.
like, yeah, but so the supports in this group are actually not that bad. So so you're not actually getting a free lane. And these are roaming supports,
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I
except
100%
life,
agree.
except life,
Except
except
life.
life.
But
Like, yeah,
that is that is
Gen G is different.
yeah, that is not because of life. That is because of Genji. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
another thing. But
I mean,
this what
I
I
mean, yeah,
what
yeah.
what
Go
I
on.
what I mean with that is just that I 100% agree that this can probably be the most O6 group.
Yeah.
The team that will go O6 is probably from this group. But at the same time, I feel like it's not as bad as it could have been for OTL, and it's not as good as it could have been. I think that TL will be able to take a game away, and I think that the team that it's going to be against one of the top two, or
It's
top two, no,
possible. It's
one of
possible.
the it's possible top two, but I think it's probably going to be between the three and two, and I think that that's going to be also one of the differences between who qualifies. I think that between Gen G and LNG, whoever loses to TL, because I think that TL will take a game from one of those two, will be staying in
Okay, so
groups.
TL playing spoiler basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that
I,
that's
I
what's
mean,
going
to
to
be
happen.
honest, and also I want to answer another narrative. You know the narrative that's going about that Mad's not a very good best of one team, right?
Is that a
I
Yeah,
narrative?
think
but
they played.
I was one of the enthusiasts of that narrative. I saw the stats, but I remember the start of the season, and then after I looked a little bit more, I really don't think that should be an indicator
Yeah.
of mad.
No, I actually reasonably think because when they came to MSI, they actually played really well in the groups. So it's like, and even in Rumble, that was best of one, and they still played well. So I feel like it's a bit overblown at the moment,
Yeah,
It's
especially considering, especially considering none of the teams can match their mid game. None of them.
yeah,
It's
that's the
like,
thing. The thing is that the clear better team is mad. Like I don't think it's that hard to see that the clear best team is mad, and there's no teams that have anything that can change. Like it's not like there's a clear better player in each position against mad. There's no clear better map movements than mad, and there's no clear better drafting than mad. So it's not like there's good indicators to show that any team can just out of nowhere be better than Mad in a lot of
yeah.
instances.
Yeah, honestly, I like, given we're wrapping this up, we're wrapping, our pick'ems up.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm least confident in Group C. I'm least confident in Group C prediction because I feel
it's the
like
most volatile.
Just do what I
that
do
is
and
the
flip a
one
coin.
group that I think
You
that is
have
the
to
one
flip a
group you
coin.
could reasonably roll a d4. Yes, a four-sided dice. You can roll a four-sided dice and you'll be like, yeah, like whichever number it is can win. That's pretty much how that group is. Because I honestly think people are underestimating PSG in a sense.
Oh
Like,
yeah, obviously. I
Yeah,
mean,
PSG can still play spoiler, and I talked about Fnatic, and this is the funniest thing because I'm not the highest on Fnatic to a certain degree, but I do think that Fnatic can easily not, but they can get out of this group because they have two good tools to answer both of these teams, and they have a style that can answer well to these teams as well. So like
oh,
anything, realistically, anything can happen in this group.
yeah. So I would like to ask you guys, like, first of all, two questions because I feel like this is the best way to probably end everything.
all right.
Yes.
First of all, so let's do this. So from each group, which player do you think will be the best player in each group? Best player,
Wait, let me
regardless
look.
of
A
team.
Let me look.
So let's start with A. Let's start with A.
Showmaker.
Canyon.
Ma- Canyon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Group B. Group B.
Um,
Viper.
uh, my heart
You
is
want to
telling
say
me
Faker?
Faker.
You want to say Faker, don't you?
I'm
No,
going to
I think it's understandable. I think it's understandable.
my heart is telling me, but I think if it's from T1, it's probably going to be Carrier.
Okay. I think it's gonna be Scout. Um,
Okay,
I would agree as well. I think a
that's fine.
Scout has to shine much more than Viper in this
yeah,
group.
yeah. Group C. This is the toughie.
I
I have
wanna,
to.
I wanna say Ming.
I have to.
Go on.
Chovy, Xiaohu.
I think it's Chovy. I think Chovy's due. I think Chovy's due.
I think it's Shobi or
Uh,
Xiaohu. I think Xiaohu also. If he
yeah, yeah, I
like
think
Xiaohu
Xiaohu
is
will be in
Fucking-
good
if he
place.
shines, he
Ming,
can.
Ming
But I
gets
think
robbed
it's
every
between those
time,
two.
even by you guys. I swear to you.
No, the thing is, it's that Xiaohu can be so good in this
Yeah,
group. Like
I
it's Shobi or
know,
Xiaohu for me.
I know, but like
Group
everyone
D,
keeps forgetting
Group
Ming,
D,
and I'm
guys,
like,
Group
what?
D,
Ming is good,
guys,
guys.
Group D,
All right,
Well, to
Group
put
D.
off my perfect scenario, it will have to be Ruler. But if not, it's probably going to be Humanoid or Kaiser, and I think Humanoid better.
for me, I think it might be either Tarzan or Elyoya.
I think I'm gonna go Ilya.
Okay.
I think this is the group that will depend a lot on junglers, and I feel like Elyoya has all the tools to dictate the pace of Mad, which
Yes,
he has been doing for
this is
ever since he's
Elyoya's
been on
time to
Mad.
prove himself because he is going
That
up
also
against
that also
Tarzan.
brings me, and that's also why I think that if by some miracle or by some way Genji goes out, the clear best is Ruler because
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
going to be how happens.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're all reeling from this situation. Like we're all trying to figure out where the teams are, and then a lot of the places are actually picking their dark horses as well. So
Yeah,
I mean, did you guys pick a dark horse
For the tournament or
I
for groups?
tournament?
for tournament I mine is pretty obvious.
Did you say T1?
Yeah, it's pretty much like there's no. I also
Man,
said it previously. I
I thought
don't think
I
they
thought you'd
should
have
win.
TDS. I thought you had enough
No.
hopium to put T1 as
No,
the
no, no, no,
winners.
no, no. I think they can get out of groups as first, but I don't
Yeah.
think they can win. Like realistically, and I said I think the best three teams in the world are DK, FPX, and EDG, and I think
Yes.
it should
Yes.
be around those teams that they can win. I think the closest then it's between Mad and RNG, and then my dark horse is T1 because I think that T1 has the highest ceiling on any team in the world.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's why I picked them as dark horse.
Miles?
Hard for me to pick. Like, if I think about who the top three is for me, it's DK, ED. Like, if I pick the top four, it's DK and the Chinese teams, barring
Yes.
LNG. So,
Yes.
man, I would honestly put RNG and Mad maybe the same level, I guess, in the top four.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess I'd say my dark horse would be LNG.
I would actually say my dark horse is Matt because I feel like Matt's fifth on that list.
Yeah, I think
Given
Mad is
everything.
out of it's behind RNG.
Like
I think
like
RNG
a lot
and
of
Mad
people
are too much on the same
like,
level.
like I do think, like, for me at least, they're on the same level for me. But if you're talking dark horse, you have to come to the mean that what everyone's saying, which team is favorites, which team is not. So if you're considering that, then RNG is higher than Mad, and I
Yeah.
feel like Mad can be the team that will surprise people. Like holy shit.
For me,
I know.
the
Would people
reason
be
why
surprised
I
if
think
Mad
also with
won?
RNG,
That's the thing, right?
yeah,
Would people be surprised if Mad won Worlds? Yes.
it
Yes.
would be the first EU team
Yeah, that's
to
true.
win
That's fair.
Yes.
Worlds.
That's fair.
And I think they are
No,
the
the first EU team that counts.
The
yeah, that
first
actually
season that
that
counts.
I,
Poor Fnatic.
I raised season one from my mind. Don't worry, but yeah. But the
Yes.
thing is, it would be even more surprising because I think that G2 2018 is better than this team. But if they win,
2019,
it
you
would be
mean?
amazing.
2019.
19.
The, that win to that
19,
lost
19,
3-0.
19.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
19.
It
That
was
lost
19.
3-0 to FPX.
18
Yeah,
was
19.
they
I
beat
think that Matt
RNG.
is-
They beat RNG. They G2 did that.
I think Matt is better than Fnatic. I think that Matt is better than Fnatic. That I do think that they are better.
Oh, no,
Yeah, obviously.
that's pretty clear. That's pretty
Yeah.
clear. The Mad is clearly better than.
But if they
20
win,
Fnatic.
like because I still think that 2019 G2, the one that lost to FPX 3-0, it's the best EU team that ever has been produced. But if Matt wins this one, they will be first of all they will be clear as the best EU team ever, and it would also put a lot of surprises because not a lot of people think that they are better than G2. So it's going to be fun if that happens. Also,
The thing is, if they get to finals, at least they're already head to head with G2. It's like
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
see it. You
Minus-
can see it.
The only minus is
And-
the
and-
MSI win. That's the only.
Yeah, the difference is that there's actual international
Yeah.
international value. Like there's always that caveat that they beat TL and all of that, but they got finals and they won it. So
They beat
the
they beat
the
T1
trophy,
See,
doing it.
I,
They
I,
beat SKT.
the
I mean, I
trophy
mean,
is
I mean,
there.
to be honest, at least G2 in that run did not face the previous world champions. Um,
IG.
but
G. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
IG.
they didn't face IG and MSI, but Matt did. Matt did face DK.
and they lost.
It was close though.
Me too. Me too.
It was decently
Yeah,
close.
but I want to use that same argument then on the finals because a lot of people say no, LPL Wolf won easily, and it was a 3-2 as well. So
We'll see. We'll see.
it
All right,
wasn't as
guys.
close. Yeah, I do
But
think that it was closer.
yeah, all right. So
Yeah.
that's our discussion about the group stages. We'll see after who ends up being right. Whether my coin flip was correct on Group C or whether
1 week from
Slayer
now.
TDS
It's not.
agreement was
It's not. It's not.
all right. Anyway,
going
I
to
will
sorry
come.
guys.
Listen. I will come out victorious like last time.
All right.
I
I had to
just
coin
hope
flip at least
T1
one
gets out
group.
first.
Okay?
Like that's my only hope.
I
I
always
just want
coin
T1
flip.
to get out
I
first.
always coin flip at least one group, and for me, it's gonna be Group C. But anyway, all right, guys.
God.
With that, thank you so much for listening in. We appreciate it. Of course, like and subscribe if you like what you heard. If you like the discussion, feel free to comment on any feedback. How we can improve the show. If you want to interact with us, we have our Twitter right there. Give us a follow, and we're always happy to interact with people and talk about League. It's fun for us. We love esports, especially League of Legends, especially now at the time Worlds, where discussion is basically what everyone does, even without evidence of like who's better than who at this point.
Yep.
The evidence
Yep.
will come once group stages are done, and we'll see who manages to get out. But for now, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. But this will be Plebcast signing off. We'll see you soon.